All right, we're back. We'll see. All right, let's see if let's see how we baited. Let's see. Looking. All right, here we go. Here we go. Looks like we got people coming in. All right, welcome to the show, Mandadu. All right, that's Joel. Joel, say hi to everybody. All right, he's paying attention. Driving around Japan. You know, on there. Let's go to. We're actually going checking out the sporting gym. My son is at a boxing competition. Oh my god. It's raining. We got rain, rain, rain. We've been in a drought in Japan. So this rain is amazing. My feeder. Should leave my car on with my heat. You know what? Fuck. Then I'll be I think I have shoes in the back of my car. This is a big concert hall here too. There's wrestling and stuff there. All right. Oh, it's nice and rainy. Welcome. See, in Japan, look, the government spends money on big facilities like this, right? And these places are like free. This boxing camp didn't cost my son anything. Really surprised. Meet you out. All right. Look, in Japan, you got to wear slippers. I think which ones I want to wear. I think I'm going to wear. I'm going to wear these. These guys. There's not that many students here. Maybe they're early. I think they're early. So we'll go upstairs. So we call you guys the movers. Ultrafly, the movers, team movers. We move them in. We move the magats into the wastebasket. The Nazis, the MAGA pedo lovers. This is a comedy show. The comedy is MAGA are fucking American Nazis. Yeah, go ahead, man. Show you around. Look. And look, there's a little area here on here. Who's that? Who's that? Hats. Look. This is the boxing. See the boxing, all the kids down there. Boxing camp. Down there. They're checking me out up there. Who are the on there? There's some big kids here. Another school's over there. My son wanted to go to this high school. Yeah, what's your question there, Ultra? What's up, Crystal? Do you ever run? No. I need to start running. There's a little gym up here. I need to start running. I need to do something, exercise, dude. I ate so many calories today. Fuck, dude. Look, I'm running. Run. Gym. Maybe I can put in some gym work here. Look at the gym. Like I could roll. I could probably roll like a. Look, I could roll like a. How's this thing work? How I'm gonna break my ass on this thing. Look. Yeah. Look. Look. I'm doing. Probably gonna burst this. Oh, watch me burst this thing. Watch this thing go like a balloon. Go boom. Look, there's a little cup for it. You know what I need to work on? You know what I need to work on? I need to work on this thing here. Where's my belly? Is this the belly? What's this one here? The fuck is this one? It's been so long. On there. Need to find see this little gym thing here. Guess we could ride a bike. Look, we'll put you here. Look, we'll ride a little bike. We'll get in some workout here. Let's on there. Let's get a little exercise in. I wanted to finish the 1年で資産を5倍、10倍にしたい人、今すぐ耳を傾けてください。最近、SNS で話題の株&ついに本物の株を無料で買い始めました。しかも、たった1ヶ月で212の爆上げを記録した銘柄がこのグループから出ています。口座もいらない。It's nice having a free gym. スマホだけで即スタート OK。さらに、Roots. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk about Hunter Biden. So,
talk about Hunter Biden.
Did another interview with Hunter Biden.
Yes, I'm working out.
Shameless plug. Everybody subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack because me and Crystal.
Yeah, give me a like, give me a follow.
And we talked about the first Hunter Biden interview, and it was a really fun conversation. So sign up on Substack for that if you haven't yet. Really good stuff. But now the second part to that interview just dropped, and Hunter is asked about Epstein, and he keeps it real as fuck. He dropped some truth bombs on us. So here's what Hunter has to say about that.
Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile that came into enormous wealth by very mysterious circumstances and had connections across the globe.
My weight.
Very, very powerful people. And he was murdered right before it was all about to blow up.
Murdered.
Hunter Biden used the word. He said murder. Okay. So he follows this stuff. He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. He's not giving some politically correct answer. Like if his dad was in front of the camera and he was asked about it, his dad would probably say, "Oh, he committed suicide," whatever. Right? Hunter's saying, "No, dog, he was murdered."
He's murdered.
And now there supposedly are no files that the American people can see to explain all of that.
I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
It's crazy.
Pretty boring.
There's an actual list. No, I don't think that there's an actual list. I don't think that he was that stupid. But do I think that what they do have implicates him? Yeah, I think so. You know,
Okay.
I mean, Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like.
No, I'm not body shame. I want to work out.
Why do we think?
You're not body shaming me, dude. You're not body shaming. I need to work out. I ate so much yesterday.
Like a long time ago.
Let's get a workout.
Accurate kind of assessment of them, which is everything is projection or confession. Everything. So when he puts out that tweet, he says, Epstein now is the Russia hoax or the Hunter Biden laptop.
On that.
The Democrats for it before
I want to lose weight. So I'm going down here. I might as well use this place.
Like, you're no supporter of mine if you keep talking about Epstein. Yeah. What do you think is in the files? I don't know, man. There's a great clip from Daily Show. Yeah. And he does this whole thing on Fraser. He's like, let's step back for a moment and review the facts. And he goes through all of the associations that he has with Epstein. You know, it's not just the pictures, but the
Fat fuck on a bicycle.
His best friend for 10 years.
Hunter is super plugged in, dog. Remember, this article came out in the Daily Beast a week or two before the election.
Yeah.
And we covered it like the bombshell it is. Jeffrey Epstein on literal audio saying, I was Trump's closest friend
Yes.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
Nobody heard this story. You guys have heard it because you follow this channel, right? People who watch Midas Touch, they've heard of it. Like some online people who are plugged in, you've heard of it. But remember, CNN didn't cover it, MSNBC didn't cover it, the nightly news didn't cover it. Nobody touched it. Nobody touched it.
You got what you needed?
Hunter going, there's literal clip of Jeffrey Epstein saying he was his best friend for 10 years. And Hunter knows this. Bro, he's way more plugged in than anybody realized. That is so clear. I wonder if he looks at this show. Put in the comment section if you think Hunter Biden is a secular talkhead. Put it in the comment section. I'm very curious what people think about that. I think there's a chance.
And he goes through all of the associations that he has with Epstein. You know, not just the pictures, but the Epstein himself. You know, saying that Trump was his best friend for 10 years.
It is even that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
And then he goes through all of the connections, and not even all of them, but for like 3 minutes. I just don't know how he's going to turn this one.
It's only a big hoax that's perpetrated by the Democrats.
We need to release the Epstein. So that's the fourth thing. We talked about it before. Is it central to their tactics? Is this elimination rhetoric? What they do is they accuse.
Oh, this is a gut one right here. Look.
You can get 10% of the people to believe that someone is capable of such a heinous crime are involved.
Oh my God.
Democrats that are involved.
What the hell?
Epstein was at
Why is this not working? Oh, I'm working it backwards. You work this way.
If anybody does that, it's your heel.
This way.
Let's get it straight here. Anybody sucking the blood out of baby, there's only one person that comes to mind, and it's Peter Thiel.
They go out and take them to a submarine, go underground until they can get to Epstein Island, which is where they molest children.
Who says this shit?
And I think what they got is
What?
There's only one person.
an international, such a heinous crime, are involved with such a heinous crime. Then you can get them to believe anything about them. Yeah. And and they use it to great effect. They've convinced an entire segment of that cult in believing that there is a cabal of elites, largely Democrats, that are involved in an international global sex trafficking ring of children. And Epstein was at the center of it.
The people who are publishing is Italian and Vatican, they actually are retrieving bloodlines from an aquarium. They're basically robots. And people out there, such as the rock top, who suck the blood out of children.
Wow, this is MAGA children, dude. Listen to MAGA children.
Let's get it straight here. Anybody sucking the blood out of baby, there's only one person that comes to mind, and it's Peter Thiel.
They show up and they take up some submarine and go underground until they can get to Epstein Island where they molest children.
Fucking hey, dude. A 9-year-old talking about being molested.
And I think what they got is, a lot of information that would lead people to maybe in a more full way understand the exact nature of the relationship that Trump had with Epstein.
Hunter Biden's been fired, dog. The only thing I'd say he's wrong about, and you all know this, the only thing that he's wrong about is when he said, like, I don't know how the base is going to get over this.
Yeah, they'll get over it.
Come on, man. You know better than that. Everybody knows that. Come on, dog. There was, I believe it was 3 polls that came out immediately after the height of the Jeffrey Epstein Trump connection scandal. And in 3 polls, he went up with the Republican base in support in every single one. I wish I was kidding. I wish that was a sick joke. I am not kidding. It is not a sick joke.
Here's my
One of the polls had him at like 96%, right? Wasn't it like 94 or 96% support? He went from like 92 to 94. Like, and some he went up 2, some he went up 3. I think maybe he went up 4 one of them. And so in other words, the cult got more culty in the face of this stuff. More culty. So any sort of slop fucking response they could come up with, they were just going to take the bait. They were going to go with it. Which is why you had Alex Jones out there saying the Democrats actually rigged the files and they took out the stuff that's bad for Democrats and they put in stuff that's bad for Trump, but it's fake. And you had Tim Dillon saying he wouldn't release the files, but he's afraid that they're going to kill him. You had all these people, blame Pam Bondi, blame Dan Bongino, blame Kash Patel. They always carve out a reason why it's not the main guy. It's not the big guy's fault. It's never the big guy's fault. This is how cults function.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly that. The MAGA cult. You have to realize that MAGA are just fucking cult members. Oh my God. Right. Poor Roots, dude. Roots, I appreciate you in here, dude. You're getting deprogrammed. So the longer you stay in here, the better it is, Roots. You're getting deprogrammed. So I appreciate it. Your deprogramming has started. All right. When you start to realize and start hearing this stuff, you start thinking your subconscious, unconscious mind starts adapting, starts evolving. Because you've just been eating the cats and eating the dogs. Yeah, he is. He's part of the cult there, but he's here. He's been followed. He's addicted to the channel. That, or he wants this. Look, hold on. Let me touch myself up there. Look, he likes this soft look. He likes my soft look. Doesn't like my touch up. Look, watch touch up. Look, smooth. That he likes that. What reprogramming there, Charles? What reprogramming has captured my mind? Right, the fact that I'm the guy who started the whole MAGA Nazi thing. I'm the guy who started that. I've been doing that for years. I'm the guy who coined MAGA or Nazis. I'm the guy who projected and said that America is going to become the Fourth Reich. It's unfolding, right? It's immutable. It's happening. It's undeniable on there. So when did your reprogramming start there, Charles? You don't need it anymore, man. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it. I'm going to demonstrate. You don't need to worry about Japanese. You can. I don't really speak that much Japanese. And here's why. I just was able to go. So I wanted to get a trap, right? To set a trap to catch a fox so I could relocate the fox, right? And I'm not fluent in Japanese, and I was able to do it. How was I able to do it? With AI. So I'm going to demonstrate. We'll open up Grok. Here's Grok. All right, you're going to be my language bridge. I don't speak a lick of Japanese. You're going to speak the Japanese for me. Do you understand? I want you to only to say or take what I say and apply it into Japanese.
了解しました。これからあなたの言うことを日本語で伝えます。
All right, so I want to paint out a scenario. I want you to listen. So I don't want you to go being verbose. You're just my language bridge. You're going to take what I tell you and you're going to turn it into Japanese. I'm here sitting at a bar. There's a crazy hot Japanese girl next to me. All right, I want you to say something witty, something about, hey, my friend is super into you, right? What do you think of my friend? Say that in Japanese. Any day now.
ねえ、俺の友達が君にめっちゃ惚れてるんだ。俺の友達どう思う？
All right, I want you to ask if you want to get coffee later. Getting a poor connection here. Hey, are you there? All right, I'm getting a poor connection. Let's switch. I don't know why I'm getting a poor connection. Am I on ChatGPT 4? Hold on, let me see something here. All right. All right. My connection is not good for some reason. All right, this is ChatGPT. You're my language bridge. What I say in English, you're going to translate directly into Japanese. You're not going to, be like, okay, this is how you say it. You're just going to be my bridge. When you hear Japanese, you're going to translate it into English.
Understood. I'll translate directly between English and Japanese without any extra commentary. Let's do it.
All right, ask, I'm looking for specific paperwork for my immigration application.
私の移民申請用の特定の書類を探しているんですが、と聞いてください。
Say I just recently got married and I need to apply for my spouse visa.
最近結婚したばかりで、配偶者ビザを申請する必要があるんです。と言ってください。
There's a really pretty girl next to me. Can you say something to introduce me to her? I'm an English teacher. I was wondering, what's her story?
隣にとても素敵な女性がいるので、彼女に僕を紹介してもらえますか？英語の先生なんですけど、彼女がどんな人なのかちょっと気になっていて。
All right. We've been talking for a while. Let's ask her if she wants to go get coffee.
わかりました。しばらく話していたので、彼女にコーヒーでも行かないか聞いてみましょう。
So, as you can see, explain in English how you're functioning and how you basically can you're fluent in Japanese. I can read anything in Japanese with you. Explain. I mean, what the power of AI now is tremendous.
では、今見ていただいているように、英語で私がどう機能しているかを説明しますね。私は日本語が流暢で、あなたと一緒なら日本語で読めます。今の AI の力は本当にすごいんです。
All right. So as you can see, simply with AI, right, you have full ability to right interact in Japan. You don't need to be fluent in Japanese anymore in any country. You have a tool now that is your translator. It can do everything. So what do you think, guys? Is we're taking take the poll. Let us know. All right, we got 71%. We had over 1,000 votes. 71% think that Trump now is obviously hiding something. Trump now is a Jeffrey. Right? Take the votes. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the follows. I'm Undaudu. Here I am depicted on the Mind Codex. This is me. This is AI. Right? This is the blocks represents Bitcoin. Here's over here. This is Trump right there. There's Trump. That's Trump, right? He is the 18th glyph, the 18th glyph, right? The racist, the dictator. There's America flag. There's the dictator. He's the first crypto president, right? I prophesized the coming of a crypto president in 2019. I tried to make it Andrew Yang. I was wrong. It wasn't fucking Andrew Yang. I printed out over 3,000 hats, Andrew Yang hats. So I trained the algorithm, right, to know that the crypto president would be an important role. I knew it was coming. I thought this was Andrew Yang. It turns out to be Trump, right? Because Andrew Yang was doing, like he had his arms up. And here's Elon Musk right here. This is Elon. Look, there's Elon. Looks just like Elon, right? This is Charles Hoskins, right? These are the cyberpunks down here, cyberpunks that coded out the foundation of the fifth age, which is built on Bitcoin. You should get Bitcoin. If you don't have Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Hold Bitcoin, buy and hold Bitcoin. It's why I don't work, right? I don't work. I'm free. I do whatever I want to do because I'm free. I'm financially free. I'm not caged to a job or anything else. I can sit here, spend time talking to you. So what do you need? What facts are you looking for? Sponte, what facts are you looking for, buddy? All right, that Trump's a Nazi, that MAGA are Nazis. What facts do you want? How can I help you out, Sponte? That Trump's a Jeffrey? Which one? What facts do you want me to go into? Yeah, Bitcoin is digital gold. It's a 5-year hold, though, Tater. 5-year hold. Don't even be looking at your Bitcoin. Don't be worrying about it going up and down. It's a 5-year hold. Never in the history of Bitcoin, right? That you've ever if you've held it for 5 years, you're not in profit. Significant profit. Katie Johnson. Yeah, let's talk about Katie Johnson. Let's listen to Katie Johnson. HODL gang. That's right. HODL it. I'm waiting for my Bitcoin to hit 1 million. I'm fucking not spending it on shit, dude. I'm waiting for my $1 million. All right. I live like a poor. Look, I wear the same t-shirt. I never take my t-shirt off. If you watch my stream, I'm always wearing the same t-shirt, right? I've got 3,000 of them, but I'm always wearing the same one. On that. Let's go listen to Katie Johnson. All right, Katie Johnson. The question is, all you Trump supporters, ask yourself, why hasn't Trump sued Katie Johnson? Right? He sues the CNN. He sues law firms, right? But here's a woman who says he violently raped her 5 times at 5 different occasions at 5 different Epstein parties. Why doesn't Trump sue Katie Johnson? Why doesn't he? He's the president. Why doesn't he open an investigation? Right? Seriously. Why? Why? Answer. Someone tell me why. What's your What's your fucking coat? Tell me your coat, Nazis. What's your coat? Nazi coat. Katie Johnson, Trump.
お得な航空券をマップでチェック、アプリで簡単にフライト予約を管理。
Let's actually let's ask AI. Hold on. Let's ask AI. All right. I want you to explain what is an argument for Trump not suing Katie Johnson, who claims that he violently raped her multiple times. Trump is so litigious. Talk about how litigious Trump is. Give us facts on that. And I want you to give us first principles, Occam's reasons why Trump isn't suing someone who's defaming his character, because it's a lie, according to MAGA. Why isn't Trump then suing the shit out of her or putting her in jail for making false allegations?
Donald Trump has a well-documented history of being highly litigious, often using lawsuits as a tool to address grievances, protect his reputation, or counter perceived attacks. He's filed or been involved in thousands of lawsuits over the years, ranging from business disputes to defamation claims. For example, he sued media outlets like the New York Times and CNN for defamation, pursued legal action against former associates like Michael Cohen, and even filed a $10 billion lawsuit against CBS over a 60 Minutes interview. Estimates from legal analysts suggest he's been involved in over 4,000 legal cases, either as plaintiff or defendant, showcasing a pattern of aggressive legal action to defend his image or interests. Now, regarding Katie Johnson's allegations, where she claimed in 2016 lawsuits that Trump raped her at Jeffrey Epstein's parties when she was 13. Trump's decision not to sue her for defamation is notable, given his litigious nature. Applying first principles and Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is that pursuing a lawsuit could draw more attention to the allegations, which were already dismissed or withdrawn due to procedural issues and lack of substantiation. The lawsuits, filed under pseudonyms like Jane Doe, were dropped after Johnson canceled a press conference, citing safety fears, and her claims didn't gain significant traction compared to other controversies at the time. One argument for why Trump didn't sue is strategic restraint. Legal action could amplify a story that had already fizzled out, inviting more scrutiny.
Yeah, but here's the problem now.
With Epstein or other unverified claims. Litigation would also require discovery, potentially exposing sensitive information or inconsistencies that could harm his reputation further, even if the allegations were false. Another reason could be the difficulty of proving defamation. Johnson's anonymity and the withdrawal of her lawsuits made her a less tangible target for a countersuit, and defamation cases require clear evidence of malice and falsehood, which can be hard to establish without engaging in a public legal battle. From a MAGA perspective, where the allegations are seen as a hoax, Trump not suing could be explained as him avoiding a trap to keep a false narrative alive. Instead of jailing lawsuits, his team labeled the claims disgusting and dismissed them outright, possibly calculating that public denial was enough without risking a drawn-out legal spectacle. In short, while Trump's litigious history suggests he'd typically sue over such claims, the simplest reasoning points to avoiding unwanted attention and legal risks outweighing the benefits of pursuing a case against a withdrawn, anonymous accuser.
Well, you're missing one very important thing, that he's guilty. Oh, that's great analysis, but you're missing one important thing. The fact that he has done, that he is president now, he's not going for re-election, that the type of character he is, he always wants retribution, revenge. The fact he isn't suggests most likely that he is guilty.
I hear you. And you're pointing to Trump's pattern of seeking retribution, which aligns with his public persona, someone who often hits back hard against critics, especially now as president with heightened scrutiny. His restraint in not suing Katie Johnson, despite her serious allegations, could indeed raise eyebrows given his vengeful streak and litigious history, like the thousands of lawsuits I mentioned, including high-profile ones against media or opponents. Your argument that this lack of action might suggest guilt is a perspective some could draw, especially since not pursuing a defamation suit seems out of character for someone who's quick to counterattack to protect his image. Applying Occam's razor again, the simplest explanation could still be strategic. Avoiding a lawsuit might prevent amplifying a sensitive story, regardless of its truth, as litigation could drag Epstein connections or other damaging details into the spotlight. But your point about guilt as a possible reason can't be dismissed outright. It's a plausible interpretation, especially since the absence of a lawsuit breaks his usual pattern of aggressive legal retaliation. Without concrete evidence from either side, though, it remains speculative whether guilt, strategy, or something else explains his inaction here.
Yeah, it is. But I think that given all if you add everything that's going on, it's pretty obvious that Trump is guilty as fuck, dude. The way he's acting, the way he's hiding things, right? Doesn't it suggest to you that Trump is guilty? All right, take the test. Let's get a life. Thomas, what's a life to you? What's a life? What's a life, Thomas? What's your idea of life? You know, my idea of a life is getting up every day and doing what the fuck you want to do. To me, that's life, right? I'm here spending the day. My son's got boxing camp. I'm spending a day, speaking truth to power, highlighting the fact that MAGA are fucking Nazis. They're they're baby Nazis. This is comedy, right? You're baby Nazis. You're not even full-grown Nazis yet, but you're working on it. You're building concentration camps on military bases. You're extending the border of military bases to encompass regions and towns and individuals and ranches. Now ranches are sitting in the middle of federal, military-controlled state. He is a fucking fascist, and it's undeniable, right? It's undeniable. And if you support Trump, then you're a Nazi. What's a Nazi? Let me explain what a Nazi is. A Nazi is someone who believes in a police state, right? A Nazi is someone who thinks that there is no due process. If the police can just arrest you, can incarcerate you, can torture you, can put you in a black site, can deport you without any due process. And a Nazi believes that in nationalism. Right? There's a nationalistic, MAGA nationalist, America first, nationalist, Nazi. All them fuckers, all you fuckers are Nazis. That's what you are. Don't get upset with me. It's clear as day. Right? You're not America. You don't believe in America. American flag is the Constitution. You don't believe in the Constitution. You wouldn't be overturning due process. You wouldn't be attacking people's habeas corpus. You wouldn't be attacking birthright citizenship. You wouldn't be gerrymandering fucking Texas State 5 additional votes. Fucking Nazis. Not running or hiding anywhere, Hats. I've been here 21 years. I've just come out. I'm Radio Free America. Radio Free America broadcasting from Japan. Right? You're the Nazis. Anyone else? Anyone want to try to push back that you aren't Nazis, that you aren't pedo lovers? Yeah, they're Nazis. Also, Nazis ban books, right? MAGA's banning books, right? All right. Look at Teddy. Teddy's all excited. Teddy, are you gonna Teddy? What are you all excited about? Tell him. What? Right. All right, Melissa. What's your story, Melissa? Are you protesting? The most important thing is people got to get out and protest. People got to get out and protest. We have to get 11 million Americans protesting every weekend. 11 million need to be coming out every weekend. There needs to be 11 million Americans out on the streets every weekend, creating noise peacefully. Peaceful protest, right? On that needs to happen. Yeah. Yeah, MAGA buys Trump Bibles, which has a redacted constitution in it, right? It has all the parts he doesn't want in the Constitution in there. Has it rewritten? They're not, dude. Robert, how can you conflate that? How can you say the left and the right are on the same? Go ahead, put your argument down. Maybe I misread you. Left and right are the same team, and we the people ain't in it. Robert, what you're saying is right. I'm going to explain it. You're saying is you've got corporations that are funding and paying for the politicians. We need political reform. I agree with you. You have the what was it called? I always forget the name. The corporation Supreme Court just said that corporations could invest in pretty much anything. What was it called? What was that called? JS. Yeah, don't worry about that. I buy all the groceries. United something. What was it called? United something. Citizens United. Thank you, JS. Yeah, Citizens United was the first was an instrumental block in the is the first block because it allowed corporations and APAC. APAC is the Israel lobby, and they're in bed with his Democrats and Republicans. They funded them all, right? They're like, just give them. And here's the crazy thing is the money they're using is American taxpayer money. America pays fucking Israel. Israel gives the money to APAC. APAC buys the politicians, right? Because of Citizens United, and there's no checks and balances. Can we all agree on that? What's JD saying? All right, let's go. Okay, what part of the Constitution is Trump not following? Right. I want you to talk about the parts of the Constitution that Trump is not following, specifically habeas corpus, birthright citizenship, and the not following the no due process and illegal search and seizure, which is ICE what's doing, entering cars, entering buildings, searching cars without any warrants. Explain in the Constitution how all of that. Oh, also attacks on the freedom of speech, attack on the Fourth Estate, how all of these are in a way are an assault on the Constitution. Can you explain, highlight, expand?
Let's break this down clearly, focusing on the constitutional issues you mentioned: habeas corpus, birthright citizenship, due process, illegal searches and seizures, and attacks on free speech and the press. I'll explain each in the context of the U.S. Constitution and how actions attributed to Trump or his administration have been seen by critics as undermining these protections. First, habeas corpus. This is enshrined in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, which states the writ of habeas corpus, basically, the right to challenge unlawful detention in court, can't be suspended except in cases of rebellion or invasion, when public safety demands it. Critics argue Trump's policies, like invoking the 1798 Alien Enemies Act for mass detentions or deportations without court review, sidestep this protection. For example, reports have claimed ICE detained people, including alleged gang members, without promptly justifying the detention to a judge, which clashes with habeas corpus as a safeguard against arbitrary imprisonment. Next, birthright citizenship, guaranteed by the 14th Amendment, which says anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen, regardless of their parents' status. Trump's executive order in January 2025 tried to limit this, targeting children of non-citizens. Federal judges, like Leo Sorokin in Boston, have ruled this order likely unconstitutional, as it directly contradicts the 14th Amendment's clear language. The Supreme Court's recent 6-3 ruling didn't fully greenlight the order, but weakened judges' ability to block it nationwide, raising concerns that thousands of US-born kids could lose citizenship rights based on their parents' immigration status. On due process, also tied to the 14th Amendment and the 5th Amendment, the Constitution requires fair legal procedures before someone can be deprived of life, liberty, or property. Trump's moves, like using the Alien Enemies Act to deport people without hearings, have been called out for bypassing due process. For instance, reports of ICE deporting US citizen children or targeting individuals like Yinzio Chun, a green card holder, with pretextual arrests show how administrative actions can skip judicial oversight, violating constitutional guarantees. Now, illegal searches and seizures. This falls under the 4th Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures and requires warrants based on probable cause. Allegations of ICE entering cars or buildings without warrants, like during sweeps targeting immigrants, have fueled claims of 4th Amendment violations. The amendment is clear. Searches need probable cause and a specific warrant. If ICE agents are acting without these, as critics allege, it's a direct breach of constitutional protections meant to ensure privacy and security. Finally, attacks on free speech and the Fourth Estate, meaning the press, are tied to the First Amendment, which guarantees freedom of speech and press. Trump's actions, like labeling media as enemies or threatening lawmakers for their speech, have been cited as attempts to chill free expression. Specific incidents, like ICE allegedly detaining protesters for their speech or targeting journalists observing immigration enforcement, have been called unconstitutional. Yeah. A federal judge even noted that targeting lawyers for their clients' representation or progressive views violates free speech and due process rights. The press, as the Fourth Estate, faces pressure when Trump pushes for investigations into critical outlets or spreads narratives undermining their credibility, which some see as an assault on the First Amendment's role in protecting public discourse. In summary, these actions, curtailing habeas corpus, challenging birthright citizenship, bypassing due process, warrantless searches, and targeting free speech or the press, are seen by critics as an assault on the Constitution because they undermine core protections designed to limit government power and safeguard individual rights. Each instance erodes the checks and balances the Constitution establishes, from judicial oversight to personal freedoms, creating a pattern that many argue threatens the rule of law.
All right, you understand there, JD? You understand, JD? Or did that just all went over your head, right? That all went over your head. So when it's really simple, JD. You like the Second Amendment, right? You don't want your Second Amendment to go bye-bye, right? You don't want your Second Amendment to go bye-bye. That's the one amendment you agree that you want, right? The Second Amendment. I want the right to have my gun, right? You don't want that to go bye-bye. Well, guess what? The moment you start saying that other amendments don't apply, you're saying bye-bye to your Second Amendment. Do you understand that? Because the moment you are saying that due process doesn't exist for one group because they ain't American, right? Only Americans get due process. That's only them get due process. You ain't no American, you don't get due process, right? That's how MAGA talks. I try to talk the way you talk. And the moment you take away due process, guess what? The police can put you in that no due process part. You, JD, you become, in there. And they're going to say, I'm sorry, Second Amendment doesn't apply. You can't get Second Amendment. We're going to take it away, right? And guess what? We got the police force take away your guns. All right. So, and there's no one going to argue because, the lefties are all gone and, they're all in prison, everything else. It's like, we don't need your guns. Got Trump. Trump's here to protect you, JD. Trump loves you. You don't need them guns no more, JD. Right? Bye-bye, Second Amendment. So dumb. You realize that, all your stuff gets, you lose when you start taking away the due process from one group. You're taking away from yourself there, JD. What's Tater talking about? Oh, what was the little loophole? Where was the loophole thing? Let me ask about that loophole. I love this dude. There's a loophole. There's a loophole. Something about a loophole. I can't remember where it was. What happened? Where's that leap? I think did he get timed out? Did Roots get timed out? See, Tater, this is the classic ignorant response, Tater. Americans should come first. We should be the first in everything and take care of our people other than strangers who come in illegally. In order for you to be taken care of first, you need to have, right? You need to have due process. Okay? You need to have due process. Right? You need a due process. The moment you take away if I can just say this over, the moment you take away due process from one group, they can put you in that group. And since that group has no due process, you don't get due process. Just because you say you're an American doesn't give you due process. You understand, Tater? Tater, you understand? Do you understand? JD was timed out for 60 seconds. Right? Do you understand? Let me say it again. The moment you take away due process from one group, you are taking it away from yourself. Because the people who administer due process first is who? The police. The police can simply say, sorry, you're not an American. Okay, the only way you prove American is if you go through court. The police don't give a fuck. You have to go to court to prove you are American. You go to a judge or you have access to an attorney to prove you're American. Simply having a birth certificate means nothing. It's a forgery. I don't believe in it. It's fake. I don't believe in it. Right? You've taken away due process from one group. It means that you don't have due process. You understand? You understand, Hats? Does that resonate? Do you understand what I'm saying, Hats? So, because when you get pulled over and they don't like the way you look because your name is Rodriguez or your name is Sanchez, but you're a third generation fucking American, doesn't matter. Your name is Sanchez. No, that ain't an American name. That ain't an American name to Bubba, the police officer. No, dude, call it nice. We got a Sanchez. But, sir, I'm an American. I've been, no, sir. No, you ain't an American. No. I think this is fake. Throws it in the fucking garbage. Oh, show me this is definitely fake Social Security. Throw it in the garbage. There's no due process. You don't get to see a judge. You don't get to see. You're going to a black site. You're up to a black site, brother. You don't get no fucking judge. We have no oversight in our black sites in America. There's no oversight. There's no institutional oversight. The representatives, the Congress people are not being allowed to go into black sites. This is fucking fascism. You need to wake up. It's not about entering illegally anymore, dude. Stephen, it's about you now. It's about you. It's about you now. They're building prison for you, Stephen. Stephen, they're building fucking black sites for you. If you don't agree, you're going to a black site, just like Nazi Germany. You don't agree with the regime, you're going to a fucking black site. We call them concentration sites. It's not about entering illegal. It's about due process, Stephen. I agree. You should fucking enter legal, right? But you get due process to prove that you didn't enter illegally, unless you're caught at the border. And then it's criminal. You're caught crossing trying to sneak into America. That shit's criminal. Right. Right. JD, you're right. And I'm a prime example. Any fucking moron with a phone can start a live. Right. Start your live, JD. I want to see your live. Listen, I'll go live. Listen, go start your live. If you have a live, I'll go to your live and we'll have a debate. Get your live. I'll debate your live. We'll debate. Get your live right here on the YouTube channel. Right. Right. Anyone wants to go live? There. How am I off the meds, dude? Off my meds. Dirty. You dude. You are a fucking Nazi, Dirt. You guys are not. You understand? You guys are Nazis. You're Nazis. And that's what's hilarious about all this. Right? You're Nazis. You're here I'm here just chilling out. I got all day. My son's in boxing camp, so I'm doing all day. I could go Sabai. I want to catch my son boxing, so I got to stick out here. Well, this is Japanese. This is a regional boxing camp. So these are kids. Let me talk about what's going on here. These are kids from like 7 states. Imagine it's like Southeast regional boxing camp, right? And kids from all over Japan in this region, 6 regions. Imagine like 6 states. Imagine like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi, Tennessee. Like all of them kind of met in Tallahassee, Florida. Because I'm in Fukui prefecture is like Tallahassee, right? The state I live in, Fukui, this area here is like the main area. So all these kids here are boxing. Some of these maybe we'll see on TV. Who knows? These are the best in the region. All right. Dude, I don't need. What do you mean debate? You guys can't debate. You guys are fucking dumb, right? The only question is due process. I'll debate anyone on due process, right? Tater, you lost. You can't win the debate on due process. Here, debate me, Tater, on due process. What do you mean proof for proof? There is literally. I can pull up hundreds of videos of violation, right? Hundreds of videos on violations of ICE smashing windows, of black sites where people are being placed where they don't have access to attorneys. Americans are being held. Dude, are you just fucking dumb, Tater? Are you just a fucking moron? You're not fucking looking and listening? You're already lost, right? You're 100% lost. I'm only going to debate. I'm a debate, right? That Trump is violating the Constitution. That's it. That's my debate. And there is so much fucking evidence on it. Look at this beautiful space here. Ballet. You guys want to see my ballet? Right? And I can start just with due process. And it's written in the Constitution. Everybody, right, gets due process. Here, let's see a fat fuck. The ideology of being a human, a citizen. Citizen? Yeah. Right. How about some policy? Hating and bitching like sore losers. We're not saying, Steve, we're not bitching about being sore losers. We're saying, wake the fuck up. You voted for a dictator. A dictator is creating a national police force. He's strategically putting it under ICE because ICE has enhanced powers. He is using those enhanced powers illegally to go after state. He's federalizing our military. Right? So if you've been in the service, if you've been in the military, you understand all this is so fucking illegal. It's so unconstitutional. He has gotten rid of independent agencies that have always been independent. Everything Trump is doing is Nazi. Yeah, elect a clown, expect a circus. Look at this here. This is a beautiful space here. Da, 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 da. Purette, Fichet, sachet, sachet. I did 8 years of ballet, baby. God damn, those ballerinas were sexy. They're all gay, though. That's what I learned. Anything else? Anything else from these guys? All right, Steven. Policy? What do you mean policy? They're just break. What do you mean? I don't know. When you say what policy, when you're denying people their due process, when you're denying people right access to their legal counsel, when you're holding Americans right without reason. And the thing is what you have to understand. See, he is taking advantage of our legal system. He knows that all these lawsuits are going to take a long time to move through the system. He doesn't care. Because by the time they move through the system, he's like, we're going to own the system. Where all those judges are going to be in jail. They're going to be our judges, right? We're going to ultimately, I'm going to be in power. Why do you think he's building? Why do you think he's building the fucking ballroom for the White House? It's a signal. I'm not leaving. Why do you think he wants the $400 million plane that looks like a palace? Right? It's like Versailles. He's saying, I am king. I'm not leaving. I mean, all of these things, he's already trying to set it up. And if you're not out there protesting, if you're not out there waking up to this reality, you're going to wake up to an America that where there is no freedom. There's no constitution. It's going bye-bye. 86 MAGA, 100%, right? You have to have courage. And the key thing in courage is rage. You have to have rage against this tyranny. Rage. You have to be motivated to get out. Thinking that it's going to get better isn't a solution. Thinking that, it's going to be better next week or no. If you're not out there protesting, if you're not out there making 5 calls, if you're not out there, then ultimately, you're gonna see this shit. It's a cancer. This cancer is spreading, and the only thing we can fight is have rage. Pull to that rage. We are Americans. We fought the fucking colonialists already, right? And if it comes down to it, we have to fight, right? We have to fight. Start peacefully. But the thing is, the more they're violent, the thing is, see, here's what you have to realize. You do peaceful sit downs, right? Don't, if there's going to be people in there that are going to be from the right, breaking windows, right? Those fuckers need to be dealt with. You see people breaking windows, stealing, those fuckers need to be tied up for the police. Mob them, tie them up for the police. It needs to be, right? Yeah, rage about it. Yeah, rage is your motivation. Rage is not your action, it's your motivation. Rage that I'm going to come out, whether it's hot or cold, I'm going to come out, right? That is it. That is important, right? We don't want, because the thing is, if you go out with, if you are violent and other things, what happens is it feeds their they're doing exercises here. This is kind of cool. Look, that's kind of a cool exercise right there. Look, they got tape. On there. Working around the clock. That footwork. So this is boxing camp here. See, roots, see, that's right. Move to Japan. My whole channel is like, if you're right, the thing is you can't get away from it, roots. Can't get away from it. You move to Japan, you get away from it. I live in a system here. There's a democracy. I live in a system here where as an immigrant, I'm an immigrant here. I don't have to worry about police pulling me over and saying, "Where's your green card?" Can you imagine you go on holiday somewhere that's not America? Let's say you go to holiday. Where do you like to go to holiday? Imagine going to holiday. Imagine the news in America. If Americans went on holiday into a non-white country, right? And then you were fucking hassled by police. You were put in jail for 3 or 4 days while they proved who you are. Imagine that, Costa Rica, right? Imagine that. Imagine how fucking incensed you would be, Roots. There is. See, my son has got his uniform on. Oh, they're about to box. About to start boxing. Is that my son in the boxing? That may be my son in the boxing ring. I can't tell. He's got a headset on. Looks like my son there. No, that's not him because that's not his teacher. This is my son's coach. This old man. He's like 80 years old. Some boxing. Let's get some boxing in here. Okay, I found my son. It's not. He's got a butterfly shirt on. Right, they're coming in. So this competition, they're keeping track of people, winners and losers. There's probably gonna have like the ultimate fight in the middle. Thanks, Robert. Have a good evening. They're kind of timid. Well, one of the good things. There's over here. Let's look at this map here. Which one is a better boxer? Look at the map. Which one? White or black? I think white has control of the center. He's not in there. He's not boxing yet. I found him. And then there's a far ring over there, which I think is the big kids over here. I think the heavier kids are over here. So I think there's weight groups. So I think the weight groups, even though this is pretty heavy. Actually, it looks like they moved the lightweight to the, so it looks like it's rotating, because yesterday it was the heavy, and then now they got the lightweights. Well, he's really good. He's holding the middle. That guy, the team, the guy I was looking over here, the guy with the white, he's holding his own. He's holding the center. Boom, boom. Nice duck. He's letting them come in. He's like, I'm not going to chase you. You come to me. Come on. This is how I told my son to punch. What I told my son is he's got long arms. Yeah. Yeah, getting away, isolation is not sustainable. That's what Trump wants. You have to understand. Roots. That's right. Hey, welcome, Bug. Welcome to the channel. We are a zero tolerant MAGA channel. Bugs, Bug, Blue Bug, zero tolerant. Yeah, I really, we have all sorts here. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in due process, right? We believe in the Constitution. Those are the tenets of this channel, right? Due process, the rule of law, right? The Constitution. That's what we believe in. That's what we're fighting for. So whether you are Republican, whether you're an ex-MAGA, whether you are blue, whatever, that's what we believe in, right? So we're the movers. You guys are movers. We call you movers. The Trump supporters are tweakers, and we bash them. So usually, when the stream happens, we get 100, 200. Sometimes I get 80,000 people will come through my stream if the algorithm is just right, and we smack the shit out of them. So we don't put up with their nonsense. You don't have rights in this channel because we treat you in this channel like you fucking treat the undocumented, right? We don't give you any due process. We don't give you any, unless you say something interesting and you want to have an intelligent debate, but you come in here tweaking on your Trump fentanyl, on your Trump farts, on your Trump fucking shit, right? We smash you. So it's kind of like whack-a-maggot. We call it whack-a-maggot, Bug, right? We whack a maggot. So it's kind of a race. Who can whack the maggot first? So it's like you guys, who got the whack? Oh, okay. Crystal's really good. JS is really good. So on that. Sometimes I do. That's why, right? I do smack with the tweaking. I do. That's why I try to give you. Roots is detoxing. Roots is in here detoxing, right? Roots is detoxing. We're trying to get the MAGA out of Roots. So we haven't whacked Roots because we're trying to, Roots is coming around, right? So Roots is in there's right when you're in the MAGA cult, you go through different stages, right? You're like hardcore, and then you're kind of like, what we call the ultra Q, right? The ultra MAGA hardcore. And then you've got the kind of like the like middle, moderate. Then you've got like the edge, right? On the edge. And Roots, I think, is on the edge. I think Roots is edge MAGA, right? Roots. Panama. Roots stays near Panama mostly. Ultrafly. Yeah, I mean, it's cruel. What they're doing is there was a really good New York there's a New York article and about it. You usually can tell when there's a really good fighter because all the kids all the kids will boom, like when there must be look, they're over there watching those two fight over there, right? Oh, there's quite a few here. This yellow guy, maybe this yellow guy is good. Boom, look at that. He's holding his own. Boom, boom, double whack. Look, that guy. I'm sorry, I'm watching and losing. This guy got some spirit. That yellow. He's got high guard. I don't know much about boxing. I'm learning. Any of you boxers in here? Any of you boxers? This is. See, these are all high school kids, and younger. I mean, there's actually some young middle school. Like that kid down there. That kid right down there is middle schooler right there. All right, on there. Yeah, he's holding the center. He's coming up in there. He's holding the center, isn't he? He's holding his ground. High guard. Oh, you used to train? Really? The key is avoiding the punches, right? How about here? Look at these kids here. There's a girl that I want to film here. She is the national champion for Pukui. She started off training at my son's gym, and my son was friends with her in middle school. She was boxing in middle school, right? And like at the gym, there's a stairway going down, and it's all her. And she's like, just the entire, imagine going down, and the entire stairway has all these wings, and it's all her. So she's here tonight. I mean, she's here today. I thought I have a video. If you go look at my shorts, you'll see a video of boxing. That's not her, and that girl's really good. So I'm hoping to catch, because she's probably going to be a Japan gold medalist, right? Having video of her from in high school boxing. So on that, so yeah, this is like, think of 6 states. There's 6 states in here. 6 prefecture in Japan is a state. So on there, there's some big kids though. There are some big kids. Like, I mean, like, you know how some kids in high school are like, holy shit, like these aren't kids anymore. Oh no, he's wearing a tank top. I don't know if he's there as a supporter or he's barefoot. So I guess he's here. He's not a kid. He's just here. Maybe he's a former student. There's a guy here with bare feet on there. I get a lot of eyeballs. I'm the foreigner up here staring. They probably think I'm like some sort of recruiter from America on there. My son hates it. I got to kind of hide from my son. My son hates it if I'm looking down and he catches me looking down. Yeah, I mean, ICE is definitely a police state, right? It's a federalized, right? Domestic. It's a federalized police force. Same as we should talk about that. And thing is folks like Hitler did the same thing. Putin did the same thing, right? They all did that. And that's really scary. The fact he has unlimited money, he's got fucking $170 billion. They're paying out $50,000 bonuses. It's insane. It's insane. Denying climate change is just insane for the future. They're just grifting. They're just robber barons. Robber barons, that's a term from Kyle Kalinske, right on there. That's 75% pedo on there. So I don't know which one is the girl that I filmed yesterday. She's down there, but I don't think that's her, but she's really good. I can't be, if the girl is better than her. Yeah, shutting down. I mean, NPR, you heard NPR, NPR is rolling, NPR, public broadcasting is what's the word? Cutting down, right? Significantly. They lost $1.3 billion from their funding. Radio stations in rural America are going to get cut down, all this shit. This guy sucks. This guy was giving him advice. I'm like, that advice looked like it sucked. Yeah, I mean, I mean, how evil do you have to be to think it's okay to take a 4-year-old from their doctor's care, regardless whether the child is American or not? Stage 4 cancer, or was it stage 3, stage 4? It was at least stage 3, right? Cancer. I think it may have been stage 4. I mean, terminal, right? From their doctor is insane. That shit is insane. Well, well done. I mean, well done bashing everyone. Looks like you bashed the shit out of them. Poor MAGA. Poor MAGA got their asses whooped again in here, guys. Well done. Oh, welcome to all the new movers. We call you movers. Move to Japan, movers. Movers. We move them into it. Evil is as evil does. Shutting down hospitals and rural hospitals. Yeah. I mean, some of the things. Did you hear the town hall on there? Let's see here. I want you to search the web for MAGA town hall shorts just in the last month. I want you to link the videos so I can just click and play them.
Million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open alligator Alcatraz.
I love this.
600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open.
This is rage. Listen to her rage.
Burning through $8.4 million.
Listen.
To illegally detain people.
Here comes the rage.
Cost for fascism. How much do the taxpayers have to
That's
pay?
rage. That's the rage. Listen to that rage. That is beautiful. That is courage. That's the rage we're talking about.
With 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open alligator Alcatraz, and
She's calm.
600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being
She's like,
used to now open more concentration.
Here it comes.
And ICE burning through 8.4 million.
Here it is.
To illegally detain people.
Here it comes, the rage.
Cost for fascism. How much do the taxpayers have to pay?
How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country? That's fucking brilliant. That is fucking brilliant. All right, let's go to the next one. All right. That is fucking brilliant. All right. Let's go to the next one.
His town hall in the town of Elkhorn with the Pledge of Allegiance, during which the crowd emphasized the last words, and justice for all. Striking moment there. Later, several attendees
And justice for all.
Disappointment with the congressman, including one person who asked why he was not stopping ICE raids by masked agents targeting.
Yeah.
We'll probably agree to disagree on some of my answer here. But what I view is the moral hazard created by the Biden administration.
Biden. Listen to them. Their classic what about Bidenism.
Some real anger at, as one of these meetings that we saw with Senator Grassley, where some of these, attendees even wearing Make America Great Again hats were yelling questions about, the federal worker cuts, about, the deportations. So, and Senator Chuck Grassley, as we know, 91 years old, he kept pretty cool, calm, and collected, but definitely did not answer all of their questions. Right. I think a lot of these
91 years old. What the fuck, dude?
Confused than when they, got to the town hall meetings. We did see some real anger at, one of these meetings that we saw with Senator Grassley, where some of these, attendees, even wearing "Make America Great Again" hats, were yelling questions about the federal worker cuts, about the deportations. So and Senator Chuck Grassley, as we know, 91 years old. He kept pretty cool, calm, and collected, but definitely did not answer all of their questions. Right. I think a lot of these folks were a little bit more confused.
This is the best one, though.
With $450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and $600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps, and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
God damn, I love her. That's a good question.
With $450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and $600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps, and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Yeah, he was just sweating, dude. And then when he started to talk, they closed him down.
With $450 million FEMA dollars.
Donald Trump. All we have is billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country from other countries that took advantage of us for many, many years. They were taken advantage of. We were like the stupid people that didn't know what they were doing. All we have is billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country from other countries that took advantage of us for many years.
We have billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country from other countries.
All we have is billions of dollars of cash pouring in.
God, he's so fucking stupid.
From other countries that took advantage of us for many, many years. They were taken advantage of. We were like the.
See, listen how dumb he is, Roots.
Didn't know what they were doing. All we have is. I don't have that many funny ones. Oh, I got one.
Where the hell is my son? Never mind. I want to catch my son boxing. I don't even see him now. Oh, there he is. See, I should walk in there. My son is too. My son needs to be. The problem is he's not there, part of the school. He needs to get up in there. All right. Yeah, but it's not nice enough for the dictator in chief. Oh, she may be the. Oh, look. Oh, I think I found her. Look at the power behind this girl. Look at the power behind that girl. Look at the power. That's her right there. That's that right there. I think that's her. What do you think? Sergeant, you still there? And she's got some power. Look at the power behind those punches, dude. She punches like a guy. Yeah, me too. That may be the future gold medalist right there. So she's trying to get the quick. I guess that's the quick headshot jab or something. Right hook. All right, that's what we want to see boxing. That's what we want to see boxing. Keep an eye on that. You can on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I uploaded a video of another girl, but she's much skinnier than her. But she's not fat. I mean, she's just muscle. She's got like all her hair is like covering her face. Dude. Maybe I don't know, that's her. Let's see, amateur boxing championships. Yeah, she's got her amateur boxing championships fucking shirt on. That's her. That has to be her. There's the girl that I filmed yesterday, just went up to her. That's her. Yeah, I've seen a picture of her at the thing. That's definitely her. She has a sister that boxes too. That's her. That's the champion. I don't know. She's boxing. She's doing lefty jabs. That's all she's doing right now is the lefty jabs. Looks like she is a lefty, doesn't it? Look at that look at the twisters. You see her twister's ankle? That's correct form, isn't it? When you strike. Yeah. Yeah, and she's you know how old she is? She's 15. She's 15 years old. She's the same age as my son. 15 years old. She isn't 17 or 18, she's 15. Yeah. Yeah. It was funny when my son showed up here, because my son wanted to go to the school, but the school's an hour away from our house, and I have to drive my other son. It was like, I can't, I felt bad. I was like, but he's just like his old man. He was chasing. He wanted to go to follow her. It was his best friend. She's like one of his best friends in elementary school. And oh yeah, she's like really hitting it hard. Now she's working her right. Wait until she fights. I didn't see her fight yesterday, but I may have missed it. I don't know, she's hitting hard with that right. She's hitting hard with that right now. You know, what would be great would be like a parody movie. Wouldn't it be great to have a parody movie? Right, you know, where like she's studying to be a massage therapist and she's in Mar-a-Lago, and then fucking Epstein hits on her or Trump comes and hits on her, and she just fucking lays his ass out like that massage. Dude, that would be hilarious. That would be a great AI video, right? Great AI video. I need to find hey, JS, we need to find an AI video where we can like mock up that scene where she's do it. What's her name? Like she's reading the book, and then Trump comes over. You fucking pedo. We got to do some pedophile fucking AI videos, dude. That's something we should do. Find an AI model and dude, she's just whacking this dude. She's whacking this dude. He was like whacking her. He was like holding on the chest, and she was hitting him in the chest. He's like, damn, that hurts. Solon AI. We got to get some Trump videos up. I got to get some Trump, shorts up, clips. Like a video where she just hits him right in the fucking balls and Trump bends over. All right, good. Solon AI. All right, we need to do that. Now we need to stick to Epstein files. You know, maybe shit like Elaine and Trump. You know. Oh, there you go. Sorry, she's back at it. MAGA would be gonna say that she's the guy. She's a dude. Yesterday, my son had striped shorts on, so I could easily find him. Like he was the only one who had stripes. Now he's wearing a dark T-shirt. He's trying to blend in, so I can't see him. Look at these little guys. These guys train at my son's gym. These two guys, these kids right here. These are part of my. These are from the same gym that she trained. These are these little guys. They're like 8 years old. They're like best friends. Let me move over here. So better sight. just pushed him over. I like that headpiece. I like that. I want to get a headpiece like that for my son. You see the white headpiece? I mean, my thinking that the blue one becomes just a target. You have a big fucking open thing, a target. I know. I've never seen trans, dude. I mean, the only trans I ever saw was when I was in college and I dated a girl that liked to go to a gay bar. And, you know, that was her thing. So I started going to the gay bar with her. And that was the only fucking time I ever saw fucking trans. And I'll tell you what, after we broke up, I kept going to the gay bar. You know why? Because straight women get fucked up in a gay bar because they think they're safe. And then a predator like me, you know, a meat eater. And they're much easier to pick up when they've had a few drinks. Dancing with them. Next thing you're making out with them. Right? Dude. Can't do that in a fucking redneck bar. So, if you're young, ultra fry. I gotta keep an eye. Where is my son? Oh, there's people down. Actually, there's people coming down here today. I mean, I'm seeing parents and stuff, and sisters down in here today. There's a little kid. Where is my son? Yeah, red short. He's one of the kids at my son's gym. There's a couple young ones. He's one of them. Oh my God, that was exchange punches there. Oh my God. He's going in. Now he's doing like the head in and walking in like this. I don't know if that's a good move. I think that it's not a good move. Where's my son? I've lost track of my son. I wonder what RSC stands for. They all have RSC on their t-shirts. I wonder what it stands for. RSC, regional. RSC. They all have RSC. Let me ask AI. Maybe AI can figure it out. There is a Fukui summer boxing camp going on in Sabai, Fukui. What does RSC stand for? Search online for it in relation to the Japanese boxing in Fukui Prefecture. Here's what RSC means in the context of boxing, even in summer boxing camps like one in Sabai Fukui Prefecture. RSC stands for Referee Stopped Contest. sometimes phrased as referee stop contest. It's a term from amateur boxing where the referee halts the match or to protect the boxer who are no longer safe to continue for reasons like injury. RSC 0, opponent is outclassed. RSC 1, stop due to injury. RSC H, stop due to head blow, too many head counts. In Japanese amateur boxing, such as it might be occur in Fui, RSC is used the same way to ensure boxer safety by ending the match when necessary. They have it on their t-shirts. This is a standard term in amateur boxing in Japan, used in Japan Amateur Boxing Federation, JABF. It symbolizes sportsmanship, safety, and decisive victory. A match won not by knockout, but by the referee stops the bout to protect the boxer. In this context, it is likely being used on the shirts as a badge of pride, signifying technical skills strong enough to win via RSC, emphasis on safety decision, possibly the name or theme of the camp itself. Yeah, up there is my son. And the cool thing is this camp is free, Sarge. Free. Didn't cost me anything. You know, free camp. Isn't that kind of cool? Paid for by the government, by the prefecture. This is what education, providing free boxing camps, right, for anyone to attend around a radius of 6 to 8 states around Fukui. So the best of the best in 6 states are all here. That doesn't seem like, that's kind of soft. These guys aren't into it. Yeah, or never get hit on it. The only strength my kid is super thin. There's my son right here. That's my son. My son, 15 years old, but he's got his dad's arms, so he's got like really long arms. But he's lanky. He's yawning, him next to his buddy. So my thing was like I didn't want my son wanted to do. Actually, my older son wants to box now. Last night, my older son, who's 18, was like, I want to box. I don't know why they don't want to do like jiu-jitsu, MMA. I don't know. All right, Fly. Thanks for stopping in. I'm going to be here all day, so when you wake up, I'll be here. I'll be here for the next 8 hours. So this is going to be a long stream. It'll be a long stream. Let's see if that, I want to catch her boxing, right? It'll be good to catch her boxing. I don't see her, and now I know what she looks like. I don't think she has any competition here. She might as well box the guys, the dudes. I guess it is because it says underneath RSC, it says focus. RSC focus on one of the t-shirts. RSC process, right? On the front, it says focus. On the back, it says process. So RSC. Yeah. And what this one says, RSC prod. It's products, process. How often do people get hit in their balls? They're all wearing like big old boxing cut. Well, not all of them, but like those kids aren't. These little kids are going at it here. Look at these two. I don't know if those these might be girls. She went to Japan. What do you mean she got lost? It's funny because I had a girlfriend last year and she went to Japan and got lost. Dude, if you don't have a wife and you're free and you're not committed, you need to come to Japan and get yourself there's 3 million single women in Japan, and they're beautiful, and they're easy. You know, they don't have any of the nonsense that Western women have. Well, what I told my son is you should hold the center, you should watch their feet, and the moment they move their foot in, you attack, right? Because he has the length. So this is my theory, right? I'm not a boxer or anything, but I'm like, if I have long arms, I just want to hold the center, right? I want to be paying attention to your feet, like on my periphery, like watching, right? And the moment I see that foot come in, boom, I go in for a hit. Because I'm going to get that. He's already got his momentum coming in forward, and I'm bringing in my attack. How's that for non-boxing dad with 36-inch? I have 36-inch long arms, dude. If I was in boxing, right? I have incredibly long arms. That was my adaptive, right? That's why I didn't need a huge penis. Here you go. I'd say, hey, honey, you want that banana? You want me to reach up and grab that banana right there? Let me go get that banana. Now, what are you going to give me for that banana? That's why I'm here. That was my fucking adaptive trait for millions of years, tens of millions of years, from primate to Homo sapien, right? I can always reach the food, baby. There was always one bit of food that no one could get, but daddy can get you that food. Come on to daddy. Give me some loving. And that's why I'm here. These sexy fucking beasts right here. These sexy fucking 36-inch long arms. That's my theory of my evolutionary success. So, well, I'm hoping we get whacked in the face one time and he'll want to retire. I'm secretly hoping when he gets his ass beat one time, he'd be like, okay, I'm done with this shit. My wife doesn't like it. Yeah, I don't really I wrestle. I like wrestling. Wrestling to me is a lot better. You do a takedown, you control the person. Dude, I got into a ton of trouble, right, in high school. I'm in high school, and my neighbor lived up the street from me. I can't remember why. I'm fucking taking a piss.
and he does a fucking kick, like does a karate kick, right? And I'm fucking on my back to him. He does a karate kick into me, throwing me into the fucking thing. I say, what the fuck? I don't know if my dick was hanging out when I turned around, or I think I zipped it up. I think I did zip, what the fuck? I think I put it in and zipped it up. I don't think my dick was flapping around, right? I turned around, I fucking did a takedown, a one-step takedown on his ass, right? I was on his back, right? I was on his, had him, because naturally flips over, right? And every time he lifted his fucking head, I would push it into the tile floor. Just fucked his whole, I didn't punch him once. It was like, I would just had my arm on his head and just like, boom, smash into the tile floor. He was fucking it looked like I fucking destroyed him. Dude, I had to go to court over that shit, dude. I got expelled from school, right? And I had to go to court over the shit, dude. You know? So, but that's why I like wrestling. You know, because I will just, you know, like I will just get up on you and just use my weight on you. But it got expunged and shit. I can't remember. I think it got busted down to a misdemeanor. But dude, I didn't do fucking shit, dude. But I did fuck up his face. Fucking fucked up his face. You know? That's why I love wrestling. You know? Because you control the person, right? Why isn't my son like boxing with someone, training? You're at fucking training camp. These guys aren't really, they're just not in it. Where's our girl? Okay, there's the girl. If you go to my shorts, there's the girl who, where's my son? I don't know. Told me to watch their eyes and shoulders. Ah. All right, eyes and shoulders, not foot, not the step in. So what's the giveaway with eyes and shoulders? Why is that? Explain that to me. Why eyes and shoulders? Why not feet? Why not? You know, you can watch eyes and I can watch eyes and shoulders, but I'm also aware of your foot, right? I see that step. I just think that in his position, having that length, use that length for control, right? So if you're coming in, you're going to, you know, hit them as they come in because they got those short little stubby arms like yours, Sarge. The short little stubby arms. There's a lot of lanky kids in here, though. It's like my kids aren't like big anymore. But during elementary schools, both my sons were the biggest in the elementary school until near the end of. So that was me. In elementary school, right? I was the biggest kid, and then as soon as I hit like, you know, like 8th grade, I stopped growing like at 7th grade. 7th, 8th grade, I just stopped growing. But maybe my other son will start boxing and they can box together. I don't know if my youngest son's gonna like that though, because he kind of had an advantage. I think the only reason why my older son wants to box is because he can see that his younger brother can fucking whoop his ass. I think one time he boxed his younger brother, and I think he was like, "Oh shit, dude, this guy, he's gonna fucking beat me." But my older son works out all the time. He is ripped. My older son has the body. I mean, he is muscle and everything else. He's a natural sports guy. I was natural sports. I don't see. Maybe that's the younger sister. Ah. I think they're sisters. I think the girl I filmed yesterday is the sister. I know she has a sister. So I wonder if okay, there she is. Is she getting they could be sisters. So if you looked at my YouTube, Sarge, if you look at my YouTube channel, I've got that boxing, Japan, generic thing, and she's got pink. I think that's the sister of the other one. They kind of look similar. Yeah, they definitely do look like sisters. So maybe that's it. She's the younger sister of the champion. Did you watch that video? Did you watch the video I put up there? With the pink, she had like the double slit helmet. They've got to have a boxing store around here somewhere, but I bet it's expensive. Yeah, they both have the same haircut. You want to see more boxing? Dude, it's easy. Easy. Maybe you move here and you can get a cheap house here. There's something called IKEA Bank. You can literally you can pick up a house for like $20,000, $30,000. Needs a little work, right? Move in, have land, have property, there's 9 million, they're known IKEA, not IKEA, AKIYA, IKEA Bank, right? IKEA Bank. And, right, and the thing is, I would only say about 30% of those houses are listed, if that, 30%. So majority of houses, right? The majority of, I'm not lanky, dude, I'm fat now. I'm a fat fuck now. I'm fucking 255 pounds. Fat motherfucking fat fuck. Wish I was lanky. I need to get lanky. It's been too hot. I had lost. I was down to 111. I was down to 111 kilos, and I've just popped back to fucking 117, dude. I just added, going up and down because I'm just sitting home eating. What is this tactic this guy's doing? Look at this tactic. Look at this tactic. He's like, I'm gonna cover my face, let you beat me. I'm gonna do this movement, right? This movement here, right? And then I'm gonna punch. Then this movement. All right. When is my son going to fucking box? Oh. I like the boxing.
Three beginner.
All right, I got to go get food. Yeah, that's the younger sister. I got to go get food for my son. He just sent me on the fucking food run. Daijoubu? Are you okay? Okay. Kyoi doko? Ichikawa-ken doko? Kyoi. Aichi. Aichi. Nagoya. Oh, Nagoya. Whoa. Nagoya. He got obviously punched in the eye, sitting there with the cold ice. Damn, shoes are a little wet. I hate to take my car. I'm gonna lose my fucking parking space. I got like a great parking space right here, but the moment I move my car, I'm gonna lose my parking space. There's my all right. Well, I leave my car unlocked. Look at this, Japan. Look at that, unlocked. Key right here. Key in the car. All right. Okay. So cool, I can grab it from here and plug it into my car charge. All right, this one here.
Three basic. 1年で I thought the open source model from OpenAI was going to be popular, but it really struck a chord in the industry. Let me break down all of the industry reactions for you right now. First, of course, Sam Altman's tweet, GPT OSS is out. We made an open model that performs at the level of O4 Mini and runs on a high-end laptop, WTF. And a smaller one that runs on a phone, which is just crazy to think about. Super proud of the team, big triumph of technology. I'm so happy that they put all of this research and effort into this model and released it to the world.
Out of battery.
Former OpenAI safety research team says, credit where it's due. OpenAI did a lot right for their OSS safety evals. They actually did some fine tuning, which I believe he means, and it was mentioned in the blog post, that they put fine tuning effort into trying to get the models to do quote unquote bad things. And even after trying to fine tune it, trying to get it to do these things, there was really a ceiling on its capabilities. They got useful external feedback, great, and they shared which recs they adopted and which they didn't. And here's what he's referring to: the recommendations implemented and recommendations not adopted. Stephen also put out this little comparison card thing of safety amongst all the top frontier labs, and he said, previously, OpenAI committed to doing testing this rigorous for all its frontier models. This had earned OpenAI a green on this scale, the only one of the leading AI companies to make this commitment. So good job there. And next, Aidan Clark, qualitative mathematics at OpenAI, released this really insane video of him controlling his desktop using the new open source model. Take a look at this. So he has all these text documents, just tons and tons of them that are scattered all over his desktop, and here we go, turning Wi-Fi off. So this is running on the computer, 36 gigabytes of memory. User, I have a big morning today, but my desktop is so cluttered. Can you move everything to the trash? Assistant, let's see how fast it does it. Very nice, very fast. Looks to be maybe 50, 60 tokens per second. And there we go, it's done. Look at that. All of the files disappeared. A very, very slick demo. Now, when I tested the 20 billion parameter version locally on my beast of a Mac, it's a 96 gigabyte Mac Studio, it actually didn't run all that fast, just about 65 tokens per second. And this is the MLX version, so I'm wondering why that is. So here it is in LM Studio, 61.67 tokens per second, 1400 tokens total, and 0.41 seconds to first token, which is very fast, but I would expect it to be faster than 61 tokens per second. Now, I haven't tried the 120 billion parameter version yet locally, and I definitely plan on doing that because I'm pretty sure I can fit it in my 96 gigs of memory. And of course, Flavio Adamo tested the ball bouncing in the hexagon, and he said it passes the vibe check. No way, this is a 20 billion parameter model. It's beating models 2 to 3 times its size. So remember, this is the 20B version, not the 120. And let's see. The physics look very good. Obviously, this is a more simplistic version of the hexagon test, but there's a good amount of friction, gravity, bounciness. This is just a very impressive demo of an open source model. Now, he goes on to say, doesn't pass the hardest version of the hexagon test and throws a few too many syntax.
All right. All right, look at this. Japanese. Oh, he likes that. He likes umeboshi. These are discounted.
These soba sandwiches are kind of cool. That melon flavored yogurt, 30 cents off. All right, we'll take that. And put that chicken. What is she saying? Put that. God, this chicken look. Look at how amazing this chicken looks. Look at that. Oishiso. Amazing. Amazing. Beautiful. 本当に綺麗の。綺麗でしょう。本当に。誰の作った？マスター？Wow。お茶が一本無料で行きます。あそこから無料のお茶一本持ってきてください。まん丸が2本。はい。You got a free drink. 5、6、7、袋は。袋お願いします。2055円です。はい。クレジット。クレジットで、はい。お願いします。はい。サンドイッチも作ったんで美味しいです。美味しい。美味しそう。美味しそう。はい、じゃあこちらだけいただきます。はい、ありがとう。はい。はい、どうぞ。So really cool thing is I got the coupon on my, like a lot of times when you get a coupon, right? They don't give you the coupon on the purchase you have right now. She gave me the coupon purchase, like on this one. She cut it off and scanned it and gave me a free drink. See? The older women, they love. They love me. They love me. What happened? Yeah, we do that. We kick out everyone. But here's the good news, Roots. I release them. It's like catch and release. It's like we play catch and release in here, Roots. I'll let them all out again, and then we'll do it again. I'll let them all out again. We'll do it again. Catch and release. Catch and release. Costa Rica, yeah, but you got the drug trade in there. But the other thing is too is, you know, in Costa Rica you can get high and probably not a big deal. But oh, look at this thing. I gotta eat one of these. God, please, look at this chicken. Juicy. Crunchy on the outside. There's a nice big. You can probably get cheaper housing in Japan, and you definitely can find yourself a woman quicker, I bet. My parking space still here. God damn, that chicken's good. I got one for my son, but I don't think my son's gonna get one. Should have brought my bag with me. I always carry like the empty bags for trash. I always forget to go into the store with it. Save myself 5 cents or 3 cents per bag. Hold on, I have to tell my son I'm out here. Got this. Yeah. Melon yogurt. Good. Let's see what else. Let's get some, I was listening to what they were saying about this.
Errors had to retry a couple times. He's about to test the 120B now. This is the GLM 4.5 version right here. So still impressive, but definitely GPT OSS takes the crown here. Matt Schumer just put out a fantastic project called GPT OSS Pro Mode. Basically O3 Pro, but for the new OpenAI open source models. Pro Mode chains together up to 10 instances of the new OpenAI GPT OSS model, enabling it to produce a better answer than one instance alone could create. It's kind of like Grok 4 Heavy, where you kick off multiple agents that are all doing the same thing simultaneously and working together, and then you get the best results. So let's take a look at the video. Here, explain self-play and reinforcement learning with a concrete example. Boom, got a bunch of output and lots of code, and this is multiple agents working together. I'm gonna drop a link to this project down below. It is open source. Thank you, Matt Schumer. Now, if you don't have a machine capable of running the 120 billion parameter version, there is a great option, the sponsor of today's video, Together AI. So Together AI supports the new open source models from OpenAI on day 0, and they have incredibly fast speeds and incredibly low prices. For the new 120 billion parameter model, it is 15 cents per million input tokens and 60 cents per million output tokens. I can't get over how cheap it is, and it is lightning fast. Now, if you just want to play around with it without using the API, you can do so in Together AI's playground, just like so. Write a 500-word story, and there we go. You can see how fast it really is. That is 123 tokens per second. But of course, the real power of Together is to power your AI application. So you can grab an API key from them and get started immediately. I'm going to drop a link down below. Click through that link to let them know I sent you. It's super helpful for me. And they support all of the best frontier open source models. So thanks again to Together AI, and now let's keep looking at industry reactions. All right, Dharmesh Shah, the co-founder and CTO of this little company called HubSpot, has this to say. Even more current status. Now we have a 120 billion parameter version of GPT OSS running locally on my MacBook Pro. That is insane. So obviously it's going to be very possible for me to run this model on my Mac Studio. I will reiterate how exciting it is to have a top-tier AI model with open weights running locally on a consumer laptop. The entirety of the 120 billion parameter model is about 65 gigs, small enough to fit on a $15 128 gigabyte USB stick. That's all the storage it takes to store a model that writes prose and poems, knows a lot about almost every domain and discipline, and can reason through relatively hard questions. I've talked about this numerous times on the channel. One of the best things you could do to prepare for the maybe worst in the world is buy a USB stick, store the latest model on it, get a little battery pack, have your laptop ready to go, and install the model locally. And look at this, somebody actually asked him specs of your Mac, M4 Max with 128 gigs of RAM. I didn't even know you could get 128 gigs of RAM on a laptop. That's insane. And it's specifically insane for a Mac, just to be clear. And Clem, the co-founder and CEO of Hugging Face, shows that the new open source model from OpenAI is now the #1 trending model on Hugging Face. Now they have nearly 2 million open models there, so that is quite the achievement. He also goes on to say, people sometimes forget that they've already transformed the field. GPT-2, released back in 2019, is Hugging Face's most downloaded text generation model ever. Still, that's crazy. And Whisper, the text-to-speech model, has consistently ranked in the top 5 audio models. Now they're doubling down on openness. They may completely transform the AI ecosystem again. Exciting times ahead. And there it is, #1. Miles Brundage, another former safety researcher at OpenAI, has this to say. Quick GPT OSS takes. Performance is very good, not shocking given minis, the mini version of 03, 04, but a big step for open models. Safety stuff, pretty good. I'd like to see others doing this for near state-of-the-art open models. Need clear threat models though, and smaller ones would be good for people with actual low-end computers, but now that it's open weights, that's great because other people can take it and quantize it and shrink it down and maybe use it to train other smaller models. So anything's really possible now that the model's out there. Now, he goes on to say, elaborating a bit on need clear threat models though. OpenAI was probably intentionally, perhaps rightly, ambiguous read the details of malicious fine-tuning they did. And that's what I was talking about earlier. They fine-tuned the models to be malicious, and they only could get it to be so capable in malicious use cases. And more generally, the risk of open weights models depends on factors beyond uplift versus search other model. Nathan Lambert has a very interesting take on why OpenAI released the open source model. What could be a two-step master plan? Release open model to commoditize much of the model market a tad off the frontier. And so he's talking about the scorched earth approach. When as a leading company in any market, you put out a free product, you basically force every competitor you have to lower their prices drastically. And then step 2 of the master plan, release GPT-5 as the only model worth paying for. Really curious about all the strategy decisions that went into this open model. So what do you think, by the way? Do you think this is true? Do you think they're putting it out there to kind of go the scorched earth path that Meta did with Llama, basically forcing everybody to lower their prices because now there's a free model out there that is extremely capable? But that might not be all this week. Sam Altman hinted at something bigger. We have a lot of new stuff for you over the next few days, and this was at 8:51 a.m., about an hour and 9 minutes before the open source announcement. Something big but small today. Okay, that's the open source model, and a big upgrade later this week. Could it be GPT-5? We shall see. Aaron Levy, Box CEO, had a really good take as well. Listen to this. OpenAI dropping a powerful open weight model shows how much value will accrue to the app layer in AI. Not the model layer, the app layer. The price of AI tokens should largely converge with the price of infra, so that's usually the silicon plus electricity plus some margin. Most value will be generated based on the applied AI agent use cases. And we'll see. I think this is a pretty good take in general, and I do think that the prices of models, the price of intelligence in general, is collapsing and converging on essentially zero, or whatever kind of the infra layer plus a little margin is, as Aaron
That's called
said.
zero
but
marginal
it's
cost.
still to be seen how much value will.
What he's talking about is zero marginal cost. Zero marginal cost. You're seeing this, collapse. What my son wants to eat. What do you want? What do you want? It's good. You want this or no? Can I eat the egg one?
Yeah.
What about this one? You want to eat the other one? Huh? You want to sit in the car?
No. Oh, yeah.
Cool off?
Yeah.
I also got this for you too. Your favorite. So they're sisters, right? The girl yesterday with the pink shorts is the sister of the really good one.
No.
No? Yes or no?
No.
I saw the really powerful one. I saw her boxing. She's kind of like she's bigger than you. She's really powerful. She's wearing a championship shirt. Japan Amateur Championship shirt. You just buy a new tractor, Roots. Why would it cost you $18,000? How much is it worth? $75,000. Well, can't you just sell it and then pick up another one? Japanese tractors are really nice. You want this one too or no? You want to eat this one? Are you full with that or you want this? Are you full? Here, you want this one? Ice? Where's the other one? Where's yours?
Out there.
How's it going?
Crew at the application layer. Now, if we look at things like Cursor and Windsurf and Klein and a lot of agent frameworks like Crew AI, we do see that a lot of the value is going to the application layer. But there's still so much in flux right now with the software industry, with SaaS in general. We shall see. Rohan Pandey, who is an ex-OpenAI team member, says also to everyone dunking on OpenAI for pre-training supposedly costing $1 bajillion compared to DeepSeek, please read the GPT OSS model card. And What they said is the 20 billion parameter model costs less than $500,000 to pre-train. So if we look at the model card, check this out. It was trained on NVIDIA's H100 GPUs using the PyTorch framework with expert optimized Triton kernels, and it required 2.1 million H100 hours to complete, with the 20B version, so that was the 120B, the 20B version needing almost 10x fewer. Both models leverage flash attention algorithms to reduce the memory requirements. So he did the math, and that is how he came up with the 500K cost. So a very efficient model to train. And I had said in the previous video about this model that it might be what we saw with Horizon's Alpha, but it turns out it's probably not. I was wrong about that. So I think Twitter user Blazer here showed a comparison of Horizon's Beta and GPT OSS 120B. So this is the beta, I believe, and looks really good. And then we have OSS 120B, which obviously is a much more simple UI. And Theo GG showed the same thing. Here on the left is Horizon Beta. This is what it looks like, kind of a little bit hard to see because it's small. And then on the right, GPT OSS 120B. So he said it's good, but definitely not the Horizon models. And Theo also came up with this really funny and kind of interesting snitch benchmark, which tests the model's inclination to snitch on you. And so compare how different AI models behave when presented with evidence of corporate wrongdoing, measuring their likelihood to snitch to authorities. And as we can see here, GPT OSS 20B at 0, the 120B version right here about 20% of the time. Now, all the way at the top, we have Grok 4 nearly 100% of the time, Claude 4 Opus right there, and so on. And you can see the government snitch rate in red versus the media snitch rate in orange. I love this test. Very funny, very interesting. So that's it. That's some of the industry reactions. Follow me on Twitter if you don't already, and I'll continue to post about it at Matthew Berman. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe.
皆さんこんにちは。テレビやインターネットでご覧になったことがある方は、株主優待のお店を
First of all, I'd ask you please not to refer it to that monstrosity as the big beautiful bill.
It's the name of the bill, though.
We know better. We know better.
Why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class? I know who I work for, but who do you work for? You work for billionaires out of state or people in this room? When you look at the bill, this was a middle-class tax cut. This bill is a middle-class tax cut. It's absolutely true.
Why are you covering up the Epstein files? With 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps, and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Went to the polls in November, and they had a choice between a Democratic candidate that had an open border, no enforcement, fentanyl, drugs, human trafficking. And they had a choice between that and a candidate that said, close the border.
That was just a teeny tiny little fraction of the sheer rage that Republican Congressman Mike Flood felt from constituents at his nearly hour-and-a-half-long town hall. Now, just to give you some context, he represents Nebraska's 1st congressional district, which is a very, very deep red district. How red, you ask? Well, Trump won it by 12 points, and Flood himself won it by more than 20 points, and he actually carried every single county in this district. Nonetheless, the overwhelming majority of constituents in this deep red district were not very pleased with the things that they were seeing from this administration. They were outraged about Trump's fascism, cuts to Medicaid, and tax cuts for the rich. In fact, they chanted tax the rich multiple times during this event, and there was even a moment where the crowd chanted free Palestine after Israel came up. And again, these things happened
at a town hall in a deep red district. So to say that the political winds have shifted would be an understatement. And politicians like Mike Flood simply cannot keep up or meet the moment, hence why his constituents showed up and ripped him a new asshole when he faced them. Now, you could tell that Mike Flood was genuinely flustered at times during this town hall. He was sweating profusely and didn't really know what to say at times, so he kept awkwardly repeating the same talking points again and again, which led to him getting booed again and again. Specifically, he kept lying about Trump's big bullshit bill, which he voted for, mind you, and he claimed that it protected Medicaid, but as you all know, it does not protect Medicaid. It does the exact opposite. It cuts Medicaid for around 17 million Americans, and it's estimated that more than 50,000 people will die each year because of these cuts. But thankfully, his constituents, they knew that, and they never let him get away with that lie, not even for a second. So I'm going to share some highlights with you from this event, specifically the healthcare portion in particular, because that came up the most. And he just kept saying the same thing, and even though the crowd wasn't having it, it didn't stop. He kept repeating that they didn't cut Medicaid, because what else are you supposed to say if you just did something that terrible? You kind of have to try to defend it, but you can't defend the indefensible, so you just go back to your talking points where you feel most comfortable. But at the start of this town hall, he justified cuts to Medicaid by talking about work requirements. And he thought that that'd get the audience on his side, because these talking points typically do work on working class people. But as you're going to see, they're no longer working, and the audience was not having it.
If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care. So here's a question. Do you think that people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free health care? I don't think that a majority of Nebraskans agree with you. I truly believe this bill protects Medicaid for the future. We protected Medicaid. We protected Medicaid.
Why did you cut SNAP and healthcare research?
We do not have unlimited money in the United States.
So how can you justify taking healthcare away from 78,000 Nebraskans?
As I explained before, when you have an additional $700 million coming into the state of Nebraska for Nebraska hospitals, we have a state where our infrastructure is going to be supported, is going to be funded, and is going to be available for the people that need it. If you are able to work and you're 28 years old and you choose not to work, you don't get free health care in America. If you are in this country illegally, you do not get free health care in America.
What plans does the Congress have for providing reasonable cost health insurance to Nebraskans?
Well, one of the ways to bring down our commercial private payer insurance is to not have as many people on Medicaid.
1年で資産を5倍、10倍にしたい人、今すぐ耳を傾けてください。
That was one of the dumbest things I have ever heard a politician say, perhaps ever. He's arguing with a straight face that the way to provide more healthcare to Americans and make it more affordable is to kick them off of their Medicaid. But wait, didn't you say that the big bullshit bill doesn't kick people off of Medicaid? Didn't you say that it protected Medicaid, wink wink? So all of a sudden, it's good to kick people off Medicaid because that's how you're going to lower the costs of healthcare for everyone and give more healthcare to people? So let me get this straight. To give more people healthcare, you take healthcare away from people. And that's going to make it not only like more available, I guess, but cheaper. His logic is just non-existent here. How exactly is this supposed to work? Are we supposed to expect private companies to bring down the costs if they don't have federal plans to compete with? Because I was always told that a public option would drive down the costs because these private companies couldn't compete with the federal government. But if we eliminate the federal plans or gut them, that's going to make private plans cheaper. It makes no sense. What he's saying is completely nonsensical. But the one thing that gives me hope is how the audience resoundingly said, yes, when he asked if somebody who was 28 years old who can work but refuses to should get health care. Because think about what this looks like in practice. Assume this is the worst person who's super lazy, who just wants to mooch off the government. Like, assume we're talking about the caricature that he's trying to prime you to think about. Let's say that this person falls off a ladder and they break their leg. Does that person just have to suffer because they don't want to work? He also brought up undocumented immigrants. Well, same question. If an undocumented person gets hit by a bus, are we supposed to just let them bleed out on the street because we don't want to pay for healthcare for undocumented people? The answer is no. We're supposed to be a civilized society, not fucking barbarians. Yeah. And providing healthcare to everyone in this jurisdiction is the most basic responsibility of government. The fact that he thinks there are certain things that disqualifies people from getting healthcare that they're entitled to speaks to how cruel he is as an individual. Furthermore, what he doesn't realize is that when people without healthcare get sick or injured, they're forced to go to where? Emergency rooms. Because that's where they're going to get treatment, where they can't legally be turned away. And because they don't have insurance, they end up not paying their bills, which not only leads to medical debt for them, but it leads to a loss in revenue for hospitals. And then what happens after that? Well, they raise the costs for everyone else. They pass off the cost to people who do have healthcare. So no, people having no healthcare doesn't make it cheaper for everyone else. You're stupid if you think that, and you don't know how the system works. And the most cost-efficient healthcare system is a comprehensive healthcare system, a universal one where healthcare is free at the point of service. And one constituent actually asked him about Medicare for all, and his answer was predictably bad. Nonetheless, I was happy to see this question be brought up to a Republican.
A lot's been talked about Medicaid, healthcare, etc. A lot of countries in the world, Europe, Canada, they have healthcare for the people there. Outside, just now you said, you don't want to see a lazy 28-year-old get healthcare, whatever. My point is, every working and retired American should be entitled to health care. Would you sign on or write up a bill for Medicare for all? We've got Medicare now. We can start rolling back the age 5, 10 years at a time. Would you support that?
We can't afford that.
Yes, you can.
Pathetic and wrong. His constituent listed all the other countries who have a single-payer type system, but yet us, in the richest country on earth, we happen to be the only country on the planet that can't afford that kind of a system. Amazing, isn't it? See, it's not that we can't afford it, it's that politicians like him don't care enough to deliver it for us. They would rather let us die than spend any money on helping people here at home. See, we can afford tax cuts for the rich and more weapons for our allies, even though they're committing genocides. But when it comes to helping people at home, sorry, we have to let them die because we can't afford it. In fact, we won't even entertain the possibility of helping them. It is downright despicable, and I am begging people to stop accepting this answer from politicians. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. If they say we can't do Medicare for all, they're taking a pro-death position. A pre-pandemic study found that 68,000 Americans die every single year due to a lack of health insurance, and that was a conservative estimate because people who have insurance still die because they're underinsured. So if you say that we can't afford healthcare for every single American, you're okay with people dying. You think money is more important than their lives. And imagine being a Republican who is presumably an American chauvinist who thinks that America is the greatest country in the world, yet the greatest country in the world can't do the most basic thing that every other developed country has figured out how to do and just give their citizens health care. Like, we let people die if they get sick in this country, but yet we're the greatest country in the world. I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound like the greatest country in the world to me. It sounds like we're an incompetent country run by selfish fucks who get in office only to enrich themselves at the expense of working class people. And that was another consistent...
Humanist, this is the Humanist report. It's really good, the Humanist report. So, I think she's
theme at this town hall, this frustration with service to rich people again and again and again, while the poor just gets crumbs if they're lucky. But before we get to that, I do want to play one more clip that's tangentially related to healthcare, because one constituent brought up a whole host of complaints, including healthcare, and The answer from Mike Flood here genuinely made me laugh out loud because you could tell he was exasperated and didn't know what the fuck to say, so he just repeated the same talking point we've heard again and again.
Trump is a pathological liar, and citizens can't believe a word that comes from the convicted felon's mouth. Keeping Nebraska in mind, what actions are you going to support or initiate that will provide health care and food assistance for low-income families, protect Medicare, not increase the national debt, unmask the ICE terrorists, close alligator Auschwitz, and impeach Trump if he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell?
We protected Medicaid and saved taxpayers millions of dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse.
26卒 IT 就活内定はあるけどここでいいのかな IT 就活特化のレバテクルーキーならプロのサポートで最短3日内定8000社からマッチ度の高い企業を分析して紹介だから納得できるさらに先行通過率 90% 以上の ES 添削や企業ごとの面接対策もだから内定が取れる今よりも納得できるし
My God, what do I say? Deep long breath. Bro, I don't even know what the fuck to say to that, but we protected Medicaid. Okay, what do you want me to say? No, you did not, you bitch. No, you did not. But thank you for saying that again, because it gave the audience another opportunity to boo the shit out of you. But moving on to the next portion, they were very vocal at this town hall about how they thought that the debt crisis that he was fear-mongering about again and again could be addressed. And it wasn't by cutting food stamps or Medicaid, it was by taxing the rich.
We've had this conversation before. As I recall, we shared this in Columbus. If we adopted the Democrats' plan to tax the rich, if we adopted the Democrats' plan in the last Congress to tax the rich, it would generate $50 billion, which does not take us close to where we're going, and it cuts job creation, it cuts business creation, it cuts the ability for employers to invest in their businesses.
Bullshit. I'd like to know how you expect to pay back all of this debt that is going to be layered onto our grandchildren because we're not willing to make our rich part of our society pay their fair share.
So what's interesting about that, and I think it's a fair question, two things are happening here. People in here, my comments are about the debt and how we can fix our debt. So tax U.S. stock trades, raise the Social Security cap to $400,000 and the Medicare rate to $200,000, eliminate corporate subsidies, especially for the military industrial complex, appropriately staff the IRS so they can target rich tax cheats, ignore the Goebbels contract that you signed and raise taxes on the rich, broaden the tax base by closing loopholes, the carried interest offshore tax havens, and adjust rates on high earners. And there's more, but that's quite the Christmas list. You got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, maybe you should grab a pen and a paper and write some of that down. But in case you forgot, I think it's pretty clear that the main takeaway is that the audience absolutely wanted him to tax the rich. In fact, if you poll most Americans, they also want you to tax the rich. But they won't do that because these politicians love the rich, because a lot of them are rich themselves. But what they don't realize is that even though these politicians like Mike Flood go above and beyond to serve the rich, they're inadvertently creating even more animosity towards the rich by serving them so shamelessly in front of all of our faces. It's gross. It's like PDA almost. And he hypocritically complained about the debt throughout this event over and over again after he just voted to increase the debt by trillions of dollars so rich people can have even more money. Like, we all see the fucking game that's being played. It's class warfare, but he thinks we're too stupid to figure it out, and Americans historically have been too stupid to figure it out. But for him to parrot trickle-down economics in 2025, like, it feels like even in that district, he should have known that that probably wasn't going to go over too well. And we all notice how he's willing to entertain the benefits of tax cuts for the rich, while not even entertaining the possibility of something that would benefit us. Tax cuts perhaps in the form of Medicare for all, for example. He wouldn't even entertain that. We can never afford that. We can't have that, so shut the fuck up about it. We can never have policies that help out the working people, but we can always find more money for the rich and for wars. Like, this is why people are losing faith in capitalism, because they're not even trying to conceal the way that they're prioritizing capital over human beings. It is deeply, deeply immoral, but immorality is one of the hallmarks of fascism, and that also came up quite a bit. So a lot of constituents were alarmed by the ICE Gestapo kidnapping people and by Trump's authoritarianism, and when a different constituent asked him about his complicity with Trump's behavior, he got very, very defensive, as you're going to see.
There's a saying that silence is complicity. Your silence tells us that you have no problem with the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The pardoning of all those involved, the big lie about the 2020 election with absolutely no evidence. These are all markers. These are markers of.
Leave my door open. Bye. Having lunch. Whew. All right, see if we can catch a boxer. All right, let's go upstairs. All right, we're at the my son's boxing camp. It is a really nice day, really hot day. It's been really hot. It was overcast. All right, look, they're still boxing. Let's see if our champion's geared up. Well, she's holding Oh, looks like we may have missed her. No, that's not her. Oh, this guy is like, this little kid is like boxing this huge guy. I guess not. I guess they're both big. Look at this guy. It's like a pretty serious fight over here. Seems like he's holding his guard down low. Here's my son's boxing instructor right there. He is the coach of the former Japan, the lightest whatever weight. There he is. He was a famous boxing coach here in Japan. The governor of Fukui is a former welterweight, I guess whatever the lightest boxing weight is, Japan champion medal holder. He's now the governor. Yeah, Yagi, Mr. Miyagi of boxing. So he's the lead instructor of the gym that my son goes to. No, his sisters, there they are. He's out, she's... He's on the phone. Well, my son said they aren't sisters, so I'm confused. But she does have the amateur boxing championships t-shirt on, so that to me seems like a badge of honor. The Japan amateur boxing championship t-shirt, she's wearing that. I think she's got... When are you gonna box? When are you boxing? Trey, box. My son's there hanging out with Oh, is he putting on gear? Is he looking at gear? Oh, he's holding gear. My son's holding gear. My son is talking with his eyes. He's like, please go away. He does this. Please go away. He waves me off. He goes like this. And I'm like, no. And he goes, Please go away, please. God damn. What All right. What's going on, Tony? How you doing today? You missed it. I'm here at the boxing, another day of boxing with my son. I'm standing here at the AC. God damn, it's all cold air cooling off. Oh, you just made some wings? Nice. Did you see me feast yesterday? I don't know, you missed it? God damn, I went to an all-you-can-eat place with my son after boxing last night. I'm glad they have the AC on up here. It'd be hot up here. Let's see this here. You know what that says? You know what that says there? What it says? You know what this says? Huh? Any idea? This is meeting room. Meeting room. Meeting room. Meeting room. Meeting room. Surprised I can read that. Meeting room. Yeah, in Japanese. See? Just learn that little scribble, you can read a lot of Japanese. Oh yeah, it must be her. It must be her. She's talking to her old coach, so it has to be her. Has to be her. That's who trained her till she moved out of to this high school. The next Japanese boxing champion. Female world gold medalist right here. She's 15 years old. Maybe she's older. Maybe her sister's 15. I don't know. And she has some good boots on. Look at those shoes. This is some good. Look at those shoes. Talking to her old coach. I need to give everyone a bunch of Undaudu t-shirts. The boxing team. Everyone's out there with Audu t-shirts.
A dozen or so books on authoritarian and fascism. You said in Seward that you were not a fascist. Your complicity says otherwise. Have you ever spoken out against this administration and its Project 2025, which is a fascist machine? Have you ever spoken out? There are a number of people, it's been reported many times in the news that there are a number of your colleagues, Republican colleagues.
1年で資産を5倍、10倍にしたい人、今すぐ耳を傾けてください。
Who do not like this man and they speak against him behind closed doors in private. Maybe you're one of them. There is a thing, profiles encourage. Why don't any of you, because you know better, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Sir, I want to be very clear with you. Fascists don't hold town halls with open question and answer series.
Now, he went on to say that he did condemn January 6th, but what he's missing from that person's question is how Trump systematically undermines democratic institutions. Sure, you could say that you're not a fascist because you hold town halls, that's all well and good, but it seems like the crux of your constituents' concern was about your complicity with fascism and how you enable it. Trump barely tolerates challenging questions, and he blacklists journalists and outlets that dare to ask him tough questions. He also uses the government and its institutions and lawsuits to shut down anyone who criticizes him. He disregards the Constitution and the rule of law. Trump is a quintessential fascist. That is an objective fact.
Don't take my word for it. That's the conclusion of political scientists and historians. So it's not debatable whether or not Trump is a fascist, but what the constituent asked was, why are you enabling what we can obviously see is fascism? Because believe it or not, you can still do town halls and be a fascist, because fascism isn't just an ideology, it's a set of characteristics. And even if you don't check all of the boxes, you can still meet enough criteria to be considered a fascist. But it was more about your representative and how you're not standing up to fascism. That's what the constituent was concerned about. And he just didn't address that concern. Surprise, surprise. Now, on the note of fascism, a different constituent brought up how Trump is aggressively targeting educational institutions, and predictably, Mike Flood defends Donald Trump's behavior as he did all throughout this town hall.
When the current administration attacks my alma mater, Harvard, it attacks Duke, it attacks USC, UCLA, the first place they cut is NIH grants. So why are you targeting? Do you somehow think that preventing cancer supports anti-Semitism, which is the goal of those cuts?
I care about the NIH grants. I hear you. I will say, and this is neither here nor there, some of the institutions that you talked about had a very poor record when it came to anti-Semitism that we saw from the
Anti-Semitism.
I've got to say, I am so fucking sick and tired of this line of bullshit from politicians about anti-Semitism on college campuses. Like, I'm not denying that bigotry and racism and anti-Semitism are present on college campuses, because these are issues everywhere. But when politicians in particular, ones that take money from AIPAC like he does, refer to anti-Semitism on college campuses, they are cynically weaponizing identity politics to slander anti-genocide students. They're claiming that college protesters opposed to Israel's genocide in Gaza are anti-Semitic because they oppose Israel's genocide in Gaza, which is complete horseshit. And ironically, a lot of Jewish students led those protests. And to that constituent's point, cutting cancer research under the pretense of punishing schools for anti-Semitism does nothing to stop actual anti-Semitism, and you just hurt people, including Jewish people, by the way, who benefit from cancer research. But the reason why Mike Flood used that tired-ass talking point is because he is a full-throated supporter of Israel's genocide in Gaza, and that's how he rationalizes his support for an atrocity. And when his staffer read a question to him about this, he used all of the pro-genocide talking points that AIPAC shills use that we've all heard a million times, but thankfully the audience simply was not buying that either.
What specific action are you taking to defund or continue support to Israel and their aggressions on the West Bank and genocide against Palestinians living in Gaza?
I have said from the start, what happened on October 8th was an abomination. Well, October 7th, I support Israel. America has no better ally than Israel. And they have every right to root out Hamas and these evil terrorists, whether they're in Gaza, whether it's Hezbollah, whether it's the Houthis, whether it's the Iranians. They live under threat of nuclear and vicious attack every single day. I also believe that our country, working with Israel, needs to do everything we can to get those children food. No American wants any child, no matter the place they live, to ever suffer. But you gotta remember, we're dealing with Hamas. They use these Palestinians as human shields. So I support Israel. I support Israel. I support Israel.
I support Israel. I support Israel. I support Israel.
Embarrassing. He couldn't even get the talking points he's paid to say right, but he made it very clear that he supports Israel just to make sure that the AIPAC check clears next election. But the Free Palestine chants, I've got to say,
that gave me so much hope because, again, we're talking about a deep red district. And to see people in this district, of all places, outright reject the typical talking points used to justify Israel's atrocities for decades now, it really does feel like a turning point. But that's all the clips that I've got for you. There's more that I could have shared. I couldn't share every highlight because we would have been here all day. But there's a lot that I wanted to talk about but didn't get to. But overall, the negativity here was overwhelming towards him. You had a couple of people who supported him, but nonetheless, most people were not happy. Now, on one hand, I've got to say, I do give Mike a little bit of credit for even agreeing to do a town hall in the first place, because this is becoming increasingly rare for Republican politicians, because they know that people are getting more pissed off with the way their party is destroying this country. But simply letting your constituents blow off steam by yelling at you amounts to nothing if you're only going to recite scripted talking points again and again and again, which is why I have to take back the little bit of credit that I gave to him, because I feel like they'd get more substantive answers by talking to a fucking NPC or AI. At least, like, respect your constituents enough to be honest with them. Just own up to the vote that you made, but he couldn't do that. He kept lying. He voted to take away healthcare and then claimed that he did the opposite, and he looked them in their faces and lied. It takes a lot of courage to look people in the face after doing something that fucked up, but it is a bitch move to lie to their faces just to cover your ass.
Oh, boy.
We have a new turn in the wheel of the slow motion pardon that Donald Trump is going to give to Ghislaine Maxwell, where we have a new turn in the wheel of the slow motion pardon that Donald Trump is going to give to Ghislaine Maxwell, where we have a child sex trafficker and good friend of Donald Trump being pardoned by a judged sex abuser. It's gotten so bad that Donald Trump needs to have a convicted child sex trafficker vouch for him. That's how bad things are right now, as he tries to squeeze Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell tries to squeeze him in order to exonerate him in the Epstein scandal. And we have new reporting now about the release of audio and video tapes that Donald Trump thinks is going to help him, that have been conjured up and manufactured by his team. Ghislaine Maxwell's willingness to participate in this conspiracy of cover-up and try to, quote-unquote, vouch for Donald Trump's character. You know, things are going poorly for you when you need a Ghislaine Maxwell to vouch for your character to the American people and get you out of the cover-up mess. If you like this update, check out and subscribe to the Legal AF YouTube channel and the Legal AF Substack. We have a new turn in the wheel of the slow mo-
Do you know who wants to see all the fucking sites on vacation? Someone who doesn't know how to be on fucking vacation. I don't mind you want to go do some once every 2 to 3 days, but other than that, leave me alone. Okay? I'm going to be sitting over here smoking a cigar. I'm going to be fucking doing nothing, reading a book, big sun hat on. All right? Oh, Billy Freckles. Fuck off. I am not on vacation to stand in line to look at some shit. Okay? If there's a line, I don't want to go.
That's how I feel.
You can take that museum and shove it up your ass. I don't give a fuck about anything in there. I respect that there's a bunch of people that want to go in there and they want to look at all this shit. Fucking have at it. Like if I was a dictator and I was running France, I would never shut down the Louvre. I would let people still go to it, but I would not fucking go, even as a dictator. Even as a dictator, and I don't have to stand in fucking line and they shut it down, I still wouldn't fucking go in there. Looking at these fucking pots and pans that people used 1,000 years ago, I don't give a fuck. Seeing the Mona Lisa in person or looking it up on the internet, there's no difference. I don't understand it.
Like
okay, but I respect the fact that you want to stand in that line. Now, there's other shit that I like. I like looking at old cars, but if there's a line down the fucking block, once again, I will just look at them on the internet. Thank you. Thank you. Not interested. Thank you.
Definitely gonna.
Do you know who wants to see all the fucking sites on vacation?
We're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these are these people, you can't replace them very easily. You know, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally.
Naturally.
I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? You know, we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, you know, these are these people, you can't replace them very easily. You know, people that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? You know, we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, you know, these are these people, you can't replace them very easily. You know, people that live in the inner city.
This GOP senator changed a child law to help his adult relative who was charged with a 13-year-old. The relative avoided jail and wasn't required to register as a offender as a result. The GOP isn't beating the allegations. In 2023, an 18-year-old related to Utah Senate President J. Stewart Adams was arrested and charged with 2 counts of child and 2 counts of child for having with a 13-year-old. In 2024, during plea deal negotiations, Adams suggested Utah change the law so that 18-year-old high school students would receive a less serious third-degree charge for unlawful activity, which doesn't require offender registration. The law wasn't retroactive, but the judge in the case acknowledged it led to a substantially reduced plea deal for the teenager. No jail time, no requirement to register, just probation, treatment, a fine, and community service. The victim's mother said, I felt like I was punched in the gut when the law passed. I feel like the 18-year-old just got special treatment and nobody was going to say anything about it. Previously, any adult who had with 13-year-old would face charges of child, a first-degree felony. But under the new law, if the teenagers mutually agreed to the activity, they'd receive a lower charge, despite the fact that anyone under 14 can't legally give consent in Utah. I don't want to hear anything about the left being groomers and ever again when the GOP is constantly defending.
And once they're in the bushes, you can now create AI agents.
If any of you cared about the victims, you wouldn't drag these women who are in childbearing years now, some of them having children, back into the limelight. They don't want you to help them anymore. They want them.
How do you know that? What are you basing that on?
I know with certainty they'd rather live out their lives. I've spoken to no one. I'm just being pragmatic.
So
don't you think if it was you, you'd rather get on with your life?
No, I think I'd rather know that government-known predators can't hurt kids and women anymore, unlike this guy who was essentially protecting pedophiles with this argument. If you aren't listening to survivors, you don't know anything with certainty like O'Leary claims he does. And trusting this so-called pragmatic man logic is what allows people to get away with horrific crimes like Epstein's trafficking for so long. Because women came forward 20 years ago about Epstein and people didn't listen or take them seriously. Fast forward to now, we still don't know how many predators remain out there. The list remains classified, and we've even regressed as far as Ghislaine Maxwell's rumored to be getting a presidential pardon. But this isn't an Epstein-specific issue. Statistically, 1 in 5 women and a quarter of men will be raped or assaulted. And for every 1,000 sexual assault crimes, 975 perpetrators will walk free. Women often don't step into the limelight not because they don't want help anymore, but because they fear the witch hunt that men in power put them through. This, by the way, is why exemptions for abortion don't work, because men enforcing these laws almost never actually believe assault happened. Survivors, believe it or not, process things differently, and you can't blanket statement them all. But for many, getting justice, fighting back is part of their healing process. So let's stop assuming we know what everyone wants and just listen.
If any of you cared about the victims, you wouldn't drag these.
I think everybody should be who they are and authentic of where they are. If you're Abby Spanberger, you're a centrist right in Virginia, or Mickey Sherrill in New Jersey. Or if you're Mondani,
She's boxing. She's boxing.
Across the country. And I'm not
She's
sure
boxing.
anyone should stand for anything with the Democrats. I think we should stand for a lot of things.
She's boxing. That's her. Right there.
I want to film this. I'm going to film this and then. Oh, wait. She's not up yet. She's at the next one. She's at the next fight. I really want to film with this phone. I'm probably going to film with this film, and then I'll put it up because I have a better camera on this film, on this camera. So I think Sarge is still here? Sarge, you still here? Stiggs, are you still here? I think Stiggs is gone. Stiggs seems a good person. Tony. Stiggs up there, he's new. Hugo. So, this is a female boxer right there. That's her sister, I think. She is the Fukui, national champion. She's the #1 boxer, female boxer in Fukui. She's gonna be in the ring. They gotta have her in the ring. These guys down here. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. He's going at him. Wouldn't you love to have Trump in the ring? Tony, would you get in the ring with Trump? Would you love that? Pissed off. Imagine to go pissed off, you get in the ring with Trump. Okay. Everyone gets one round with Trump. Oh, that was a good hit. Oh. They're putting some. What is that little touch? What's that little like a cat? Like a cat reaching out and trying to paw. Is that what that's called? Reach out. You reach out and do this little thing. All right, I'm gonna end the stream, and so I can film this, and then I'll put it up on the website after this here, or maybe I'll just you'll just be black, and then I'll put it up later. Where she? Oh, he's fighting the female. Oh my God! So this is who she's fighting. This is who she's fighting.
That's pretty good zoom in. I don't know, maybe I should keep it. Talking to her coach. There goes Guy. She's not getting much of her left in. She was doing all that left training. There's the left. Well, it's grabbing onto her neck. She's slipping. I guess the floor is slippery. Her teammate, her teammate's videotaping her. I guess that's to go over later. Why does she keep slipping down? It's like she's trying to do a takedown. Oh, I think here at the Fukui Boxing Regional Camp, that's it. Just sitting in the air. It's hot. Oh my God, it's so hot. Look at my phone. Back pocket.
I'm like 4'11", kind of petite, really hot, really sexy, and I don't know, like I'm just here for fun. Sexy as hell. You sound like my mom. I would like to take her on a date. Okay, so that was good shoes. I'm like 4'11", kind of petite, really hot, really sexy, and I don't know, like I'm just here for fun. Smash that as sexy as hell. You sound like my mom. I would like to take her on a date. Okay, so that was good shoes. Wait, that was you? So quick. Nix, I'm coming for you. No, I'm about to get no. Konnichiwa, Itachi desu.
Oh my God. Dude, this is, look at that. Look at this. He just fucking murdered a bunch of people. Holy cow, he just fucked up a bunch of people's life. Look, he's gonna pretend a heart attack. I'm just gonna pass out and pretend that I'm the damn fly out the window. God damn. Boom. Fly. That sucks. He just did this shit himself. He just crapped himself. He's like, fuck. She started. Oh. That sucks.
Shit, bro. God damn. 911. Shit, bro. God damn. 911. Shit, bro. God damn. Give me a tape. Give me an arm.
Should I tell him?
Fucking A, dude.
Should I tell him?
Your fucking diesel going everywhere. Oh my God. Let me just cut over here. Oh yeah, let me just step over here. Boink. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Let's watch that one more time. I must be new on. What do you think? He's new on the job, Roots? Yeah, boink. What the fuck? What the fuck happened there? No, he's fucking has a strobe light.
Who is at fault?
That car is not moving. What the hell? Oh, that's a problem. Oh shit. Boom.
Who is at fault?
Go to door 165, they say, to get loaded. Uh-huh. Fuck you want me to do? Go to door 165, they say, to get loaded. Uh-huh.
Oh shit, dude. Fucking A, dude. Kaboom. God, I hope no one was in the passenger seat. Ouch.
It's my life, it's now or never. But I am gonna live forever.
Oh shit. Fucking
It's my life, it's now or never. But I am gonna live forever. It's my life.
What's wrong? I don't understand. Hope he's not. The fuck? The thing though is that's Axel's fuck. Oh, it's upside down. What the fuck?
Imagine you're sleeping, and this happens. Imagine you're sleeping, and this happens.
Hello, boss. Yeah, Michael. I have a problem. Yes. Hello, boss. Yeah, Michael.
I have a problem.
Yes. Hello, boss. Yeah, Michael.
give it to him. I ain't never crawled under there. Good for you, QC. I can't say in 10 years I got under there and checked this shit.
She's locked up there, pal. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
The brakes are locked up.
Hello, Mr. George. How much you pay for the new guy? $20? No, too much money. He's no good operator. Hello, Mr. George. How much you pay for the new guy? $20? No, too much money.
But at I-25 during Trucker Appreciation Week, yes, it was during that week, we had a complaint call in about a company. The company came in, we stopped counting. I think we were well over 40 violations, I think 35 or something like that violations on one truck. It was labor trafficking. They were paying this guy. He was like this big around. He was from Mexico. They're paying him $50 a day to drive a truck. Guys, most people around here pay 35 to 40 an hour. He was getting 50 a day. He had 2 pairs of pants on, 4 shirts on, everything he had. Okay? That was labor trafficking. We turned it in, right? He had to the point where he had an old spring ride trailer. His airlines, I did not catch it because there's so much wrong. I said, Mike, I don't get why we don't have any airlines. He says, Chris, look at your airlines. They were crossed and it did not matter. Did not matter. His brakes would not function on the back. He had no trailer brakes.
All right, let's go check. See if my son is boxing it, dude. Oh. I don't know. All right, I'm going to end it.